Bell Radio is live.
Hey, good morning. How's everybody doing? Who's getting walloped by the snow? And by the way, if you're in Hawaii or California or Arizona or Florida and you're like, not me, I'm going to throat punch you and throw you down the stairs. I'm not to be trifled with today. I don't really know what that means, but
Are we really getting walloped? I mean, it's December.
yeah. There's got to be an analogy there somewhere about what's going on in the world, right? All sorts of interesting things to watch geopolitically going on around the globe.
I haven't. I told
Yes, you do. We have somewhat similar thoughts on that. Mine is a little bit different.
Let me ask you, if you're afraid to drive in the snow,
Should you be out driving in the snow?
Or do you think it's a good idea to put your blinkers on and stop in the middle of the road and just sit there until you feel safe enough to drive? That's the Democrats right now. I'm just going to stop everything and I'm going to stop
War
you
crimes.
too, because I may get in an accident, or
Racism.
because you stop in the middle of the road, your blinkers are on, you cause an accident. It's so stupid.
Brock and I are literally on the phone calling each other driving into work today because it's not even that the roads were that bad. It's just like people are kind of still in their hibernation. And it's like, come on, we've done this a few times before. It's not the first time. I want to, and that'll probably be the monologue. I have no idea. I haven't decided. I have a gelatinous mass on my left eye. I like to call it that because it feels like I have 4 eyelashes in my eye. And what it is just some glob that just formed on the white of my eye. And it's driving me freaking bananas. So yes, I have to go see somebody. I'm sure it's like some drop. But meantime, know that when I'm like, that's why. Anywho.
I was behind a truck that was going 7 miles an hour.
Yes.
7.
The number of wipeouts, too, it's just ridiculous.
I could have walked past the guy faster.
I want to tell you guys about GenuCell because they're back for 2 days this week, and I love it. All right, so when you go to GenuCell.com and you put in /Wendy, you're going to get something pretty cool, and it comes in a bag. This is what the bag looks like. Literally, it comes in a box, and you open up the box, and here's the bag. And inside the bag are all of these goodies that you're going to get that I use every single day. And you're going to get the whole daggone thing, which is ridiculous for, what is it, 70% off? It's totally ridiculous. Yes, save over 70% on their whole skincare regimen. Again, which I have used now for the last couple years, and I love. So this is the story during the GenuCell Christmas and holiday. Save over 70% off their amazing skincare products, including the jawline treatment to tighten, tone, and contour your neck and jawline. Say goodbye to that turkey neck and sagging jawline. Get compliments around the dinner table. I don't know if we'll go that far, but I will tell you, I don't think I look 55. I think I look okay, right? Say goodbye to all that stuff. When you order today, GenuCell is going to offer their immediate effects for results you can see in minutes, not hours. Plus, the top-selling GenuCell Deep Firming Vitamin C Serum introduced in the included in the Essentials package. And then, of course, remember, they have a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you use this and you're like, meh, they literally will give you all of your money back. I don't know why you would, because it lasts and it's wonderful and it doesn't have grease and it's not fragrant. So if you're, bothered by stuff like that, this is it. Extra special gift. You're going to get also the classic under eye bags and puffiness treatment. It's right in here. All of this 70% off. And when you throw in my name as the promo code, you're going to get an extra 10% off. It's stupid. It's totally ridiculous. It's a great gift for somebody in your life, maybe even you. GenuCell.com /Wendy. My name, Wendy. Extra 10% off. Literally, you're going to get it for 80% off. Stupid. I mean, I love them. They're not at all dumb. Love their skin stuff. All right, Brock. I'm kind of mulling over what's going on in my mind with the monologue, but I'm not there yet.
You'll get there.
You'll get there, he says. Well, I'm glad you have confidence.
These are the days I like.
Why is that?
Because it's more just
gelatinous mass.
No, you're just
I'm firing on multiple
everybody
cylinders.
gets in your head.
Yeah.
Like, the stream of consciousness is just.
Yeah. I don't know.
I know. You're always like, and afterwards you're like, I don't even know what I said.
That's true. I say that every time. Usually Diane sends me a dancing girl emoji and says that was wonderful. And I'm like, okay.
I say, oh, I thought it was fantastic. And I get nothing.
I get the F word commonly. Fantastic. Okay. Okay. We got lots to talk about, you guys. Nicolas Maduro's clock is ticking. Is he gone yet? Has he left yet? Does he understand what is at stake yet? Does he realize that this is war?
Does he understand the assignment?
Thank you for your attention to this matter.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell radio program.
Hello, America. Greetings to all of you across the beautiful fruited plain, and welcome home to the Wendy Bell radio program. Common sense, conservative values, we say every single day. It is not complicated. And, we do something that's really wild. We don't lie to you. I know it's such a common, basic business model. Just outperform everybody else, work harder than they do, make a pact with the people who tune in every day and help you pay the bills. And don't fudge it up. How about that? I wish our government would do that. I wish all of them would do that. We're going to talk about that today on the Wendy Bell radio program. Easiest way for you to get involved is to get on our app, wendybellradio.com. And you'll see that we live stream the entire program so you can watch if you want. Commercial breaks and all, but no matter what, we're just delighted that you're here. Thank you. It's an honor and a blessing to share 3 hours with you. Welcome home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. I didn't grow up in the snow. I grew up in Southern California in the San Fernando Valley, Calabasas, as it would later be called, and that is a pretty hot zip code now, both for Hollywood and rich elite people, which we were not, and also for the weather. Never saw snow fall from the sky until I was a freshman at the University of Colorado in 1988. That takes us back, right? And it was falling like I'd never seen anything in my life. It was the most beautiful thing. 30 odd years later, I've lived in the snow. And last night into today, the early morning hours today was the first snowfall here in the land before time. This is what I lovingly refer to Pennsylvania as, and my slice of it is Pittsburgh. We've been here for 30 years, right? I've lived in Pittsburgh almost 30 years. It's just what happens. It's this wild cyclical thing, right? It's like this weird rotational thing of the earth around the sun, and things happen. And oh my gosh, it's almost winter and and everybody panics. Oh my gosh, blah, 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 right? This morning, we knew it was going to be a little hairy because as I woke up at about 2:30, I just saw the snow starting. And by 6:30, when I got in my car to come to work, there were a couple inches on the ground, and it's slushy, right? But it's like driving in the first snow is like being a passenger on this journey called the American Awakening, right? Like there's certain things that we all understand in life, and we'll take the analogy of the road. I'll still never, ever understand why the concept of the zipper merge, where you get to the bottom of the ramp and then merge together rather than blocking everything up at the top. I don't understand why people don't get that. And I don't understand how people forget after a couple months what they've known how to do for years, and that's to drive in inclement weather. What do? Well, you don't drive all that fast, but you also don't drive all that slowly. You don't make sharp turns. You don't jerk your wheel around, your steering wheel around, because that causes slippiness, as we know. And you basically give yourself plenty of time to brake. Now, if you're in the first snow of the year and you live in Pittsburgh and you've got hills all over the place, you have bridges, you have tunnels, there's steep embankments, there's all sorts of weird stuff. Our roads are kind of hairy. It's going to be a nightmare. And it was. It's crazy. Like, you're driving down the road, and here's my story. You got the people who are completely blind to it, who are flying by you, like, "Rrr," and you're like, that's dangerous. You're putting everybody else in danger. But are they more dangerous than the person who's going 5 miles an hour in the right lane? And along the way, there are people literally driving with their hazards on as it's snowing, and there is slush on the road. It's really not complicated. It's sort of like, if you consider the lanes of traffic and the snow, it's like the American awakening about what we've all been asleep to for so long. And all of us have had our own individual experiences that have awakened us and made us be behind the wheel, seeing out the windshield and looking beyond the hood in a way we hadn't seen before. And as we're all driving on the highway, there are various people who are completely clueless, and they're like, holy crap. And they're going 4, right? There are those who are sort of trepidatious. They're trying to get into the groove of the flow, but they're still a little worried about it. They've started to question. They're piecing together some of the things that just don't make sense. Wait, all these people getting all these benefits that we were told they got nothing and everything's great and we're a good melting pot country. Yeah, it's not feeling like that. Those are the drivers who are going moderately slowly. Then you got those who are kind of awake, and we're like, hey, I don't know the depth of what's going on, but I know y'all are dirty as nuts. I know what's happening around us in this government is exposing a lot of corruption and darkness and ridiculosity. And we're like, holy cow, we see it and we're cruising along, but not too fast. And then there's those who are, I don't know, maybe they're all in on it. I don't know. They're going way fast down the road. Look, here's the story. It's cyclical. This corruption has been going on for a long time, the same way the snow rolls in on the calendar and shouldn't be a surprise. The challenge is getting everybody in the right frame of mind so that as we merge onto the highway as the United States of America, we're not getting slowed down by people who refuse to learn, who refuse to see, who refuse to connect the dots and learn. These people are spiraling off on the side in the berm. I passed like 8 or 9 cars, literally, that were stopped on major throughways with their flashers on. Well, what happened to you? Why is everybody else driving by and you spin out and now can't even drive to get out of the way? This is where we are. There's this side of me that is very impatient. I know. Shocker. So impatient because every day we look at the maps, right? We check the road conditions. We monitor the weather. We're looking at what's coming down the road. We know where the construction is. We're all aware of where the potholes are that we need to avoid. And yet there's a huge chunk of the people sharing the road with us who are absolutely clueless. And it's frustrating because we all have to work together to get where it is individually we need to go. Look, this stuff that's going on as we now have, 15 monster vessels parked? 11 U.S. warships are now in the Caribbean Sea. Venezuela is officially surrounded. The airspace around the country is dark. People aren't flying in it. Trump said, don't. They listened. They paid attention. He's told this guy, you're killing our people. Stop the drugs. He didn't listen. So Trump moved in and said, now the choice is yours. We can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. For the people on the highway who seem to be baffled by inclement weather, these are the people who have no earthly idea what is going on, the depths of darkness and fraud and waste and abuse that they have been paying for. And until they figure out how to read the signs, how to get in the game and merge with traffic, we have to work around them. That's why I say about 30% will not be saved. They will not understand. They cannot understand. Everything they've put all of their eggs in the basket for is linked to their willful blindness. I, however, see very clearly. I see we have a president who might be perhaps the greatest meteorologist we've ever had. He tells you what's coming. He projects it days in advance, puts it out so you can prepare. If you need to, you can put tires on your chains. You can pack some extra food or whatnot, maybe a blanket in the car. He tells you what's coming. He warns you about potential pitfalls. If you don't pay attention to the rules of the road, he gives you the detours, and he tells you about the new construction projects that are upcoming. Now, the choice is ours. Are we paying attention to what he's saying? Do you see what he is doing? Or are you going to forever be that one with the flashers on who's wiped out in the side berm with no earthly idea how to get out, who's going to snarl everybody else down? That is the choice. You know my choice, and that is to get behind a president who puts America first. He's out there right now plowing the roads. The choice is yours. Are you ready to merge onto the highway? Because there's lots of room. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, Suck It, Deep State. Literally, that's what I put as the title for this next segment. Caroline Levitt, she calls out the fake New York Times for some bogus report about Donald Trump having an MRI. The results must be damning because they're not releasing them. And he's like, really? About that, and drops the details. I got it all for you next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. All right, so I did not know this as I was opening up the link at bloodflow7.com/Wendy. I did not realize that now that Brock is probably 5 or 6 days into his Alpha Gold male from Juvenon. This is sort of like this is a male like, for you guys, that's like Blood Flow 7 is for me. And I had no idea that there's like this bundle going on. So if you go to bloodflow7.com/Wendy, you're going to see something pop up with a 30% off code, and it's taken off right there. You don't have to do anything. And it's the Blood Flow 7 that I take, and then the Alpha Gold that now Brock is taking. Alpha Gold is different in that, I'm going to tell you, it supports healthy testosterone levels. It balances hormones for steady vitality. It boosts sexual drive and confidence. It enhances strength, stamina, and endurance. And perhaps most critically, it promotes better sleep and recovery. I'm going to tell you, and I said this to Brock again today, I did it again. I went to bed and I did not wake up until my watch buzzed me awake. I cannot tell you how many years it has been since I've closed my eyes to go to bed. And when I opened them up, it was time to wake up. bloodflow7.com/Wendy.
So I equate
Period.
the Alpha. Is it Alpha Gold or Alpha?
Alpha male, Alpha Gold male.
Alpha Gold male.
Alpha Gold male.
So I stopped taking the blood flow because, like, how do you know the effect? I feel the same taking that as I do the blood flow. I don't nap. I don't.
Right. And this, I really think that some of the extra things here, the healthy testosterone is giant. It helps your balance. It helps with estrogen and with cortisol And Brock, you and I learned through Dr. Dubiak that that's a huge issue. We learned that through Sculpt Nation.
Yes.
They taught us a lot about that. And then we had to ditch them because we decided to get, back in business with Dr. Dubiak and what he does. And let's talk about him in just a minute, because I really think all of these people are connected, and the goal is for you to be healthy. That's it. Without taking drugs.
That's my goal. I
Yeah.
take the drugs I have to take for the epilepsy, but
Right.
I don't want any of the other crap.
Right.
Because a drug just means, to me, this is Brock's opinion, a drug just means side effects. Control one thing, cause 10 other things to go wrong with you.
Potential long-term consequences. How many of these things are longitudinally tested? How many of us trust pharma? I trust these people. I trust Juvenile. I trust blood flow. I know how it makes me feel. Do yourself a favor. It's like less than $1 a day.
Don't take my man.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. It is always Dolly time. All right, so Caroline Levitt. I don't know what that girl was on yesterday, but she had some serious focus and recall pumping through her brain. She absolutely lit up the media on numbers of occasions, all right? It wasn't just once. It wasn't just twice. This is one of those instances where she calls out the fake news in this particular case. It's the New York Times reporting on basically questioning President Trump's schedule, his schedule and his vigor. Trying to make this analogy that back in Trump 1.0, back in 2017 or whatever, he was doing a lot more. He was a lot busier. He had a lot more meetings. He's meeting with the press. And it's like Caroline Levitt calls BS on that. And she's like, well, it's curious because if you're going to look at a 24-hour schedule and you're going to pick only a segment of that, and you're going to say he's not doing that much, that's completely garbage, which is exactly what happened. Listen.
One fake news story over the weekend before I let you all go from the New York Times that took about 1/3 of the president's daily calendar and his daily schedule and said that he's doing less than he did in his first term or he might not be fit for the job. That is unequivocally false, and it's deeply unfortunate that this story was written by the same outlet and the same reporter who wrote this. Biden is doing 100% fine after tripping while boarding Air Force One. Oh, same outlet, same reporter who wrote that President Trump is not fit for the job. Are you kidding me? You all see him almost every single day. He is the most accessible president in history. He is taking meetings around the clock. Another one. Biden declared, quote, healthy and vigorous after his first presidential physical. I don't see headlines like that too often about this president. Again, same reporter, same outlet who wrote falsely over the weekend that President Trump is not fit for the job. I can assure you he absolutely is. You all see that with your own eyes on a daily basis, and the president's physician has now given you all 3 detailed reports on the state of the president's health.
Wouldn't you just hate to be Jen Psaki? Wouldn't you hate to look at Caroline Levitt, who is beautiful, who's always dressed appropriately? Her hair is always neat. She doesn't need binders full of information. She can speak very eloquently off the cuff. See, when you believe honestly in what you are doing honestly, you don't have to bake it with a bunch of bogus ingredients and try to bake sale it to the American people as something that it's not. She's fantastic. And she drops this. The White House releases perfect Trump MRI results, shaming Democrats who spread health trouble rumors. I mean, they cannot win. There is no winning, because if you're going to claim that Trump isn't accessible, Trump doesn't do this, it's sort of like, please, are you kidding? Trump, he seems to be slowing down. And yet on the other side, you had Joe Biden, who was literally catatonic in a hyperbaric chamber for 40% of his presidency. I mean, it's ridiculous. So the White House released the results of President Donald Trump's latest MRI after failed Vice presidential candidate Tim Walz, as well as members of the establishment media, called for its release. You better be careful what you ask for. They asked for the Epstein files. I haven't heard it. Brock, have you heard a whole lot going on with the Epstein files?
I've heard nothing.
Why do you suppose that is? They called his bluff. And Trump was like, you do know I wrote The Art of the Deal. And I wouldn't come to the table without all my cards ready to go. The establishment media have obsessed about the results after Trump revealed in October that he had an MRI, which he said at the time was perfect. This has been a sticking point for the left, and even Governor Walz used it as a retort after Trump referred to him as seriously retarded for his immigration policies. I mean, he's not wrong. However, the speculation ended yesterday. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said during Monday's press briefing that the team was releasing the results as she spoke, and she read part of the summary from Trump's physician. You did not get this from Dr. Kevin O'Connor, the elusive family doctor who lied on Joe Biden's behalf. I'll read it for you, and then you'll get it physically as well, she said. Men in his age group that got the MRI because men in his age group benefit from a thorough evaluation of cardiovascular and abdominal health, and all the commander-in-chief's cardiovascular imaging was perfectly normal, and his cardiovascular system shows excellent health. His abdominal imaging also was described as perfectly normal. As part of President Trump's comprehensive executive physical, advanced imaging was performed, blah, blah, blah. His cardiovascular imaging was perfectly normal. No evidence of arterial narrowing, impairing blood flow, or abnormalities in the heart or major vessels. I mean, they wanted it, so we might as well deliver the results, right? The heart chambers are normal in size. The vessel walls appear smooth and healthy, and there are no signs of inflammation or clotting. Overall, his cardiovascular system shows excellent health. His abdominal imaging is also perfectly normal. All major organs appear very healthy and well perfused. Everything evaluated is functioning within normal limits with no acute or chronic concerns. This level of detailed assessment is standard for an executive physical at President Trump's age and confirms that he remains in excellent overall health. How long did the media have to browbeat Jen Psaki and then Karine Jean-Pierre for us to get that limp-wristed, farcical, he's good. He walks with a little stiffness, but that's a little spinal stenosis or whatever they said he had that made Joe Biden walk like, Tales from the Crypt. Right? We had to ask and still never got the details. And then when he was asked, what about Joe Biden's cognitive abilities, Dr. O'Connor? I am respectfully going to plead the fifth. Really? Just seems so normal to do that, right? Well, when we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends, 100% his fault. Minnesota Health Department workers are blaming dishonest Tim Walz for all of Minnesota's massive fraud. Damning. And it's cranking up next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I want to gouge my left eyeball out.
Can we stop pretending that the president gets the same physicals that you and I? It's not like he's sitting in the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Getting just the bare minimum to meet his
He's getting what I think we should all be able to get, which is a full body MRI. And he gets one every year, and it identifies any changes in anything anywhere. There you go. And his doctor, who is in the Navy, I guess they're always in the Navy or what have you, was like, look, I mean, this is what we do. It's not a big deal, but the results are terrific if you really want to go over them.
It's the same thing when Murphy was sick and you took him to the vet.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him a full body scan.
Mm-hmm. I took him to Dr. Mike.
Yeah, because they weren't sure. He's like, let's do a full body scan.
Do you know what sold me on Dr. Mike besides it's Dr. Mike? And he wasn't there, right? When I took Murphy out to his clinic. They did a full abdominal MRI or imaging.
Yeah.
And they were able to tell he hadn't
X-ray.
X-ray. And they could tell that he hadn't pooped. Like he had to go to the bathroom. It's like, well, he's got a healthy amount of poop in him. He's obviously been eating. He's nourished. Everything looks good. He's got a puppy's insides. I was like, do you know how
refreshing that is?
How relieving that is to hear that? Like, I appreciate that a lot. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Dr. Dubiak. Brock, how are you doing with that?
I'm doing good.
It's hard to do it over the holidays.
I gained a few pounds, but it's already off.
Yeah, you're quick on that one.
Yeah,
so
it's already off.
So if you're new to the show, a few years ago, Brock went on this program with Dr. Dubiak, Dr. Darren Dubiak from bodybyAIM360.com. And the thing about this program is it's predicated on your blood. And Dr. Dubiak orders a very extensive blood workup on you. Dozens of different biomarkers, hormones, all sorts of stuff.
Testosterone.
And Brock was able to identify that he was pre-diabetic. He was pre-diabetic and his testosterone was through the basement. Other things he didn't want, he had. And so Dr. Dubiak looked at him and he said, this is the plan and I'm going to give it to you. Or are you going to follow the plan? And Brock's like, yes, I will. And it took maybe 6 months, 5-6 months, and he dropped 70 pounds. There were no drugs. There were no shots. And if that's what you're doing, that's something that Dr. Dubiak can assist you with as well. But it's for life. Like, he doesn't need to go back in to see Dr. Dubiak whenever he puts on a few pounds. It's right here. He's changed his behaviors. And so the wheat and the gluten and the stuff that would bother his knees and the extra weight and all this stuff, the lack of sleep, right? All of this stuff is connected. And then you're in charge. See, that's what Dr. Dubiak gives you. He gives you the keys to you. And the car doesn't change. It doesn't change. You change, like the age.
You start changing the oil. You start rotating the tires.
But the plan doesn't change. And once you have it for life. And it's worth every penny.
And if you can get the IVs too, they're just...
So they know that as you get older, breaking things down in the gut often is a problem. Whether it's capsules and pills that we identify our stomach acid can't tackle anymore, they go right into your bloodstream. So they look at what's going on with your blood and they're like, you're deficient in vitamin B. You need some zinc. How about we do this and that? Oh, and yeah, it's cold and flu season. So let's wrap that up in an autoimmune, booster for you. And then 20 minutes later, it's in your bloodstream and out you go. And it's amazing. You don't get sick. Right? Like, legit, when was the last time you were sick? You had a cough in the summertime.
Yeah.
You had some like respiratory thing, but it wasn't cold and flu stuff. 412-227-9255.
Losing the weight.
412-227-9255. It's all the difference in the world.
Made me healthier and I don't get sick. And I don't get sick because I'm getting enough sleep too. So, I mean, to me, that's huge.
Brock, you can weigh in on this.
That's crazy.
So More Gains Fitness, if you want to do a 1-2 punch, you want to get on a plan with Dr. Dubiak from your blood, you need to lose some weight, lose some inches, some fat, right? How about this? More Gains Fitness. That's 100 pounds of fat in 8 months that young man got. Yes. And look how his skin rebounded.
Isn't
that remarkable? Right?
That's the amazing part.
Well,
he's not 40.
The thing with the shots is that you can lose rapid weight, and I'm not so sure your skin has the opportunity to maybe kind of get accustomed to your smaller size. And so you see people with, this and this and that. This not the same here. Not the same here. More Gains Fitness, MORGAINZ fitness.com. I mean, it's just stupid. Before and after pictures are just like this woman. Look at that. Top, before, bottom. Look at that.
That bottom left.
Right?
You're right.
She's a figment of her former self. That's just nutty. Yeah, skin is an issue.
Yeah, it is.
It's an issue.
It is. You get over it real fast when you feel better.
Trust me, I had alien babies.
You did. You had
Why is it moving? You son of a mother.
It's all those pictures.
I don't have time. Shucks. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. You know, it's magic, if you will, that Tim Walz seemingly had no idea about the criminality going on right under his nose. Oh, please. I got to read you this from Breitbart because it seems the noose is tightening not just around Nicolas Maduro's neck today, but also around Tim Walz. You've got the Treasury Secretary now, Scott Bessent, Department of the Treasury, and James Comer, head of House Oversight, looking at launching investigations into how Tim Walz has allowed a Somalian theft, like this ring of fraud and COVID scamming, like the most ridiculous, egregious, outlandish, unbelievable fraud, and didn't do anything to stop it. Like you can't claim that you didn't know, that you had no clue, that nobody told you, that you've just been so daggone busy. It hasn't made it to your desk. People have been complaining about this fraud since 2019. Minnesota DHS workers blame dishonest Governor Tim Walz for massive fraud, saying he is 100% responsible. Now, I read you from their X account yesterday, right? 480 current and former workers for the Minnesota government, right? Saying, we've been whistleblowing on this fraud for years. We've been retaliated against. We've been doxxed. We've been threatened. We've been fired. We've essentially been excommunicated from our government jobs. And Tim Walz, 100% knows all. Hundreds of Minnesota government workers have accused the state's leftist governor of being responsible for a massive fraud case that has drawn tons of attention. The statement came from over 400 individuals in the Minnesota Department of Health and Human Services employees' X page Saturday. The group claimed it alerted Governor Tim Walz of the fraud in the early stages of discovery, but that he initially allegedly retaliated against the whistleblowers. This is what they said. Tim Walz is 100% responsible for massive fraud in Minnesota. We let him know of fraud early on, hoping for a partnership in stopping fraud. But no, we got the opposite response. Tim Walz systematically retaliated against whistleblowers using monitoring and threats, repression. He did his best to discredit fraud reports. Instead of partnership, we got the full weight of retaliation by Tim Walz. It sounds like, right? That sounds like a very interesting way of governing. Certain members in different mainstream media don't care. It's scary, it's isolating, and it has left us wondering who we can turn to. In addition to retaliating against the whistleblowers, Tim Walz disempowered the office of the legislative auditor, allowing agencies to disregard their audit findings and guidance. Why would you do that? If you were the governor, why would you go to the very office whose job is to audit state spending and projects? Why would you go and kneecap them and say, yeah, how about you guys take about a 2-year break? We're doing other things. Somalis in Minnesota allegedly took millions of dollars in state Medicaid autism care programs, sent it to their native country and to its terrorist organizations, per Breitbart News. The outlet's November 20th article noted that nearly 100 autism clinics in Minnesota were being investigated for fraudulently billing Medicaid for treatment of children supposedly diagnosed with autism. That was in July. Where the hell has Tim Walz been allowing it to happen? House Majority Whip Tom Emmer has since called for an investigation into the millions of state taxpayer money going to a terrorist group linked to Al-Qaeda, known as Al-Shabaab. But hell, we're still giving the freaking Taliban $40 million a week. So what do you think will come of that, friends? Despite the evidence of fraud, the Democrats in the state have continued to support the Somali community. Why? They're all getting paid. In its ex post on Saturday, the Minnesota DHS continued criticizing Walz, stating fundamentally Tim Walz is dishonest, lacks ethics and integrity, has poor leadership abilities, and has never taken accountability for his role in fraud. Well, now this cranks up things a notch because this WCCO TV in Minnesota is doing an investigation that found two people paid by an unknown foundation, interesting, to fraudulently register Democrat voters in the state. So wait a minute, are the Somalians helping register people like other Somalians to vote? I'm sure not, right? Let's listen in.
Allegations in a Minnesota voter fraud case that first came to light this summer. Two people pleaded guilty in federal court to being paid to help register voters. In all, 500 to 600 fraudulent voter registration applications were submitted to election officials in offices in 13 Minnesota counties. Esme Murphy has been following this case, and she joins us now. Esme?
Hi there, Frank. It was some sharp election workers in Carver County who realized the names and addresses on the voter registration forms did not match with any county residents. Prosecutors charged two people with one count each of voter registration fraud. According to the charging documents, the two were paid by an unnamed foundation to help register voters. The two defendants pled guilty this summer and have since moved out of state. The scope of the 2-year FBI and state investigation was not previously known.
And it's very significant that they said today it was 13 counties, between 500 and 600 fake voter registrations. And that's just from two of the independent contractors that worked with this group.
The investigation involves scouring hundreds of records.
On guidance from the FBI, the voter registration applications were mailed directly to the election lead, and instructions were shared to use gloves when handling the forms.
In testimony before the committee, Minnesota Secretary of State Steve Simon says the system designed to catch voter fraud worked.
This is a case about individuals who conspired to submit false voter registration applications. This is not a case about fraudulent votes. And this is ultimately a case of the system working.
How many were in the system is challenged.
Republican Committee Chair Kristen Robbins, who is running for governor, says she has additional concerns that the unnamed foundation that paid the two workers is funded by state taxpayer dollars.
99% of their budget comes from state grants. So this is a group that the state is funding and that then went out and did these voter registrations.
Now, the hearing left a lot of people, including us, with a lot of questions that were not answered.
No, duh. Of course not. Whatever would that foundation be? I mean, choose from one of many. I will remind you, it's just voter registration. It's not people voting. That's not happening. Well, it's funny. Remember how hot they were to destroy Elon Musk? And people were keying the cyber trucks, and they were demonizing the Tesla dealerships, and they were paint bombing and fire bombing and all that stuff. You know why? Because in its short infancy, reviewing fraud, waste, and abuse, the Department of Government Efficiency established a shocking fact that 4 million Social Security cards were issued to illegal aliens during Joe Biden's presidency. Why would you need a Social Security number? So you can register to vote. They handed out 270,000 of them in 2021, cranked it up and doubled that number the next year. 590,000 Social Security numbers given to illegals in 2022, up to just shy of 1 million in 2023, and then over 2 million in 2024. But I'm sure now that doesn't mean that anybody is voting. Now that's a bridge too far. Well, the funny thing about this Tim Walz problem, and we're going to go into a little bit more detail about Treasury, about House oversight. Even CNN is reporting how Minnesota and Tim Walz are short on accountability amid so many scandals. Now, when you lose CNN, This is the headline. As fraud scandals erupt in Minnesota on Governor Tim Walz's watch, accountability is in short supply. Wah, wah. One state audit found that bonus checks intended for frontline workers during the pandemic were handed out to undeserving recipients. Another criticized a Minnesota state agency for failing to ensure there were no conflicts of interest in taxpayer-funded mental health and addiction programs. And a third detailed lax oversight of a program to feed needy kids, which federal prosecutors say resulted in the nation's largest COVID-era fraud scheme. But I'm reminding you, this is CNN. But, ... When confronted with these and other troubling examples of waste, fraud, and abuse, some state agencies working under the administration of Democratic Governor Tim Walz repeatedly minimized or dismissed the allegations. The state's nonpartisan auditor, Judy Randall, told CNN. And this is where things get interesting. A CNN review of audits and the responses they prompted, as well as interviews with statewide politicians and pundits, found that Tim Walz has been a hands-off leader when it comes to seeking accountability for episodes of fraud and mismanagement on his watch. What's more, some state agencies headed by his appointees have responded defensively in recent months to the audits, a dynamic that this one person who has worked in the department for 26 years has found surprising. I'm sorry. Who out there is surprised by any of this? Did any of you think Tim Walz was going to be some righteous leader? He was going to all of a sudden, though he could not even manage basic interviews without trying to sound like the coach, the baseball or the football coach, or the guy next door who's changing his carburetor, or he's Mr. Mom in the kitchen wearing an apron making the night's meatloaf. What he was really doing was allowing a ridiculous network of fraud that clearly kicked back to his coffers, happening right under his nose, and he has known all along. When we come back, I want to take you back in time to when the election, right before the 2024 election. Let's listen how the media were spinning for Tim Walz. What a great guy. What a happy warrior, right? Versus how they demonized J.D. Vance. Curious. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. All right, let me see if I still have it.
You want to see if you can, that camera? Wendy. Why don't you see if you can manage the camera?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Work with me, guys. I'm going to start this over. I want to tell you about Texas Bullion Exchange while I'm doing this. Such a great time, I think, to get acquainted, to get a little bit educated with precious metals investing. And I will tell you, I'm woeful. I know what I've learned from the guys I work with at wendylovesgold.com. And it's quite frankly, my son Jack and I were talking about it last night. He was talking about getting off the gold standard and about Nixon getting us off the gold standard. Was that who it was in 1971? And how much purchasing power the dollar has lost in the last 50 odd years. Now, while Jack doesn't walk into the realm of necessarily precious metals investing as the next step, I do. And I think that even young people, and I know it seems ridiculous, but having this idea of tomorrow and saving and how do you diversify and how do you make sure that you're not all of your eggs are in the stock market, you get in touch with wendylovesgold.com. 855-927-5557. Joe and I made a purchase from Texas Bullion Exchange. And one of the items that we got was this, they call it, I guess it's a brick. It's a brick of gold, of silver. And it literally is just, it's magnificent. It's shrink wrapped. It's got this special, hologram on the back. Everything comes to you. It's all spelled out. It's all identified and basically laid out for you in an itinerary, if you will, like an itemized list. And you get to go through and see the coins that are rare mintage. So you have something that's very unusual. Maybe it's a Donald Trump obsidian coin. I have that. I think it's one of 2,500 in the country. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Other things, easy, coins, bars, rounds, buffaloes, what have you, and bricks. This is my brick of silver. And it's just absolutely the neatest thing. 855-927-5557. I love WendyLovesGold.com. It's all I'll deal with. They are wonderful, wonderful supporters of this show. I just think these things are beautiful. I'm not going to hold it up because I don't want to drive the camera nutty, but so cool.
Did it reset?
Uh-huh. Okay. I wonder what my my silver brick is worth right now. Value of
$57.96 right now. So
$570, yeah. It's a 1,000 ounce, 1 kilo bar. No. That's a big, big brick. Well, wait a minute. God, that's so nice. I might have to get a couple of those. 1,000 ounces. I think this one is, what's this guy? Yeah, that's what this is. Wow. No, that's different. I have a kilo. Yes.
Ooh. You're going to get shot out of this. Don't get in the water in a boat with your kilo.
Welcome back to the Wendy Bell Radio program. Let's talk about this. It's literally one of my all-time favorite Tom Elliott from Grabian mashups. This guy, I mean, how do you describe Grabian, Brock, to people who don't know? It's a website that allows what?
It's a news aggregation for all the big news outlets, and they take videos and you can call them, and if you belong to their service, and they edit it for you.
It's phenomenal. I'm going to tell you, it's also price prohibitive. It would have cost us what, $1,000 a month or something, if we wanted to take it, something like that. So when I see it out there in the world of X, we got to grab it and share it with you. They do a great job of taking all sorts of people parroting the same sort of ideas, putting them into a mashup, and then sharing it with you to hopefully, as you're getting onto that highway full of snow, as I gave you in my opening monologue, like you're able to see what's everybody is doing. It's so obvious. So this is how the media portrayed Tim Walz. This is back last year as he was running to be Kamala Harris's vice president. And all of the scandal stuff in Minnesota had long been in the works. People knew about it. It had widely been reported on. But nationally, it had really gotten crickets' attention. Tim Walz knew. Anybody in media in Minneapolis, in anywhere in Minnesota, should know what was going on. And yet nobody ever spoke of the layers of fraud, waste, and abuse. This is how the media described Tim Walz as Vice President Kamala Harris's pick to be her VP.
Midwestern dad, like super clean cut vibe.
Everybody likes
right?
Tim Walz.
So plain spoken and relatable. As moderate and independent as it comes. Pretty moderate Democrat.
I always knew him as a moderate. One of the most moderate.
Very moderate record.
A new moderate. I think this is the new moderate.
Far from progressive.
He's right down the middle. He's not just an old white man.
Tim Walz beats America. You know,
talks like a regular person.
Tim Walz is the opposite of weird.
Walz is basically younger Joe Biden.
Regular old Joe out there.
Populist approach to fear on the Republican side, and the happy populism. That Tim Walz is on the ticket on the Democratic side.
Walz is a kind of happy warrior.
Happy warriors.
Happy warriors. He was certainly the happy warrior last night and seemed to be the happy warrior last night.
A happy warrior, folksy backstory are going to be very happy warriors.
There is a new happy warrior.
Following the kind of happy warrior mold.
Happy warrior mentality.
Wicked sense of humor. Look how happy the pig looks. That's good.
Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. Wouldn't you be so embarrassed if you were caught saying what everybody else was saying? One, you're either a follower, or two, you're either a follower, right? I mean, there's no other deviation. So this is how then they covered J.D. Vance as President Trump's running mate. Very different story.
And J.D. Vance is weird, extreme, and angry.
Utter humorlessness, the humorlessness and pompousness.
It's hard to believe that J.D. Vance could be any more extreme.
It's like a freak show of bros.
They have J.D. Vance, dark and ugly beneath the dignity of most politicians.
J.V. Vance.
JD is at the far extreme.
The most extreme, being one of the most extreme. We need to recognize the danger.
Angry and mean and dark.
Cat lady hating sidekick J.D. Vance. This guy is really weird, y'all.
Everybody in America knows a J.D. Vance, but we stay away from him because he's weird.
Anger, chaos.
Hangdog ex-husband.
He was able to reach all the way down to a J.D. Vance.
Why does anybody ever listen to CNN or MSNBC? Ever? I don't know. And then finally, back to Tim Walz for a little wrap-up of media gushing adoration.
Hope, optimism, joy.
Salt of the earth, Midwestern uncle vibes, the quintessential Midwestern dad.
Tim Walz keeps winning hot dish contests, apparently. There's some folksy charm. Tim Walz is so funny that if he's good at this, he will release a recipe for a hot dish.
All of his time on the ground, fixing F-150s.
Pops out of a Norman Rockwell painting, right? He's small town America incarnate.
Midwest, your uncle, your dad.
I have not been this happy in years. He's the guy who is always there to help you, whether it's changing your oil, whether it's fixing a lawnmower, or whether it's helping to fix our democracy. It feels so good to have hope.
And I'm going to call him the coach from now until Election Day. Coach.
Tim Walz, the plain-spoken fun uncle who will defend the people he loves.
Proud, the resilient, the hardworking, patriotic.
Ice fishes. He's a hunter. He does butter carving. He is a rural person.
Brock, he does butter carving.
Yeah, he's a hunter like, who's the guy that just, Dick Cheney.
He's a hunter the same way
can't hold a gun.
The same way that Chuck Schumer knows how to barbecue. I mean, come on, right? Putting American cheese on frozen patties. Yeah, Chuck, I'm sorry, but that was an epic fail.
He's the uncle that gives you the reason not to go to the family dinner.
It's so ridiculous, right? So here we are. We're on the highway, ladies and gentlemen. You're awake. You see what's coming. You know what's going on, but there are still people in either lane, right? And they have no earthly idea that every single day they are being manipulated. They are being propagandized, and they are letting it happen. Okay, so when we come back, hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is on tap. Tim Walz under investigation. Why is the Treasury Department interested in Tim Walz? Why is House Oversight now flexing its subpoena power? Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
They chose Tim Walz and his jazz hands for one reason. They had dirt on him. Period. That's
Bribery
the
and blackmail.
Yes, that's it. They had him. You toe the line, and we'll let you. If we win, we'll let you out of all this.
Right?
He's as normal.
He's your fun uncle.
Dudes
he's the
don't do
one
jazz hands
yeah.
and leg kicks. They just don't. I'm not saying I'm the ultimate guy, but I've never done a leg kick or jazz hands. Just saying.
Give me just one. Just give me a short one. Now you have. See, you can't say that again.
I didn't do a leg kick.
That's called entrapment. That's what happens.
Well, I didn't want to get fired.
The Healthy Fat, thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. I think it's just an absolute delicious addition to your day. Look, if you're one of those people who's like, I so don't drink enough water, 100% don't drink enough water. And I'm one of those people. Like, I need something to be, I'm not instinctively trying to grab water every moment because I have to go to the bathroom then every 5 seconds. So if you do have a bottle or a glass of water every day, why wouldn't you buy MCT Wellness, thehealthyfat.com/Wendy? Take a scoop, put it in it every single day, shake it up, and then watch and feel your cravings fly out the window. Watch and feel your hunger go away for 4 to 5 hours. It's a perfect meal substitute. It's the perfect thing to drink at that point in your day when you're ready to have a Snicker bar or Doritos or something that you shouldn't have. If you have this, things start changing for you. Dr. Gundry lost 70 pounds. Are you going to lose 70 pounds? I have no idea. But Dr. Gundry says he knows of thousands of people over the last 20, 30 years who have had MCT Wellness, thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. And if you go there, there's a promo code. He knows of thousands of people who have lost meaningful weight taking that drink. So again, thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. Thehealthyfat.com/Wendy. Okay, now I'm super interested in the value of this. So I'm asking, what is 0.999? What is 1 ounce of silver? Not 1 ounce, but let's see what it says. It's not 0.9, it's 99.9. All right. Stop. I have a runny nose now all of a sudden. What the heck? It's like the minute I start talking, I get a runny nose or I get like post-nasal drip. All right. I know, right? Oh, it's a 3 nines fine. It represents purity. So this says 0.999 on it. There's no special or unique name for exactly 999 ounces of silver. However, silver bullion is commonly measured in troy ounces, and 999 fine silver bars or coins are recognized as investment grade pure silver. That's pretty nice. Okay. So what's it worth?
Someone said, cut your Coke and... Yeah, well, she's taking kilos, so...
Yes, I know. Let's see. What's it worth? I love Perplexity. I wish they would come back because I use it every day. Do you use it every day?
I do.
I use it every day.
The minute you say, hey, can you...
Every day I use Perplexity. pplx.ai/Wendy. There's no charge for this. It's this new, it's like a web browser, but it's beyond that. It gives you like extra questions to possibly ask as a follow-up to whatever query you type in there. Let's see. So right now, ooh, so if you had one of the big jobbies, the 999 ounces, that would have been $57,447. I'm thinking I need to get one of those.
Yeah, well, my birthday's coming up. Just saying.
All right, how are you guys doing? Let's see what we have on X, as I'm worried about my gelatinous mass. 655.
By the way,
on X, 235. Let's get to 25. Let's go. We need 150
Thank
people.
you for the birthday card, Katie lady. I got the Donald Trump version.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. How about what I got? I got this from Kathy. Kathy gives me this, busy being fabulous.
Oh boy.
I know. And then because she knew I had so much hard time getting into my bottom of the Dr. Lakey, she gave me a cosmetics like scooper. And that, I know, right? And then how about this? My own koozie. Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez. That's awesome.
Is that fantastic? Thanks, Kath. That was super cute of you. Super cute of you. And in Let's Go, Brandon. God, do you guys remember that? When they tried to lie and say...
It was Let's Go, Brandon. NBC.
Instead of F. Joe Biden. Oh, I made it. I'm playing the Powerball. So playing the Powerball. Ireland Contracting, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. This is, while today probably not the greatest day to have them come out to your house. Look, you're going to start thinking about it. You're going to look at your house and you're going to be like, man, from the outside in, our curb appeal is stinky. What can we do? Well, let's get some new siding. Let's get a new roof. Let's put on new gutters and downspouts. Let's put in a skylight. Let's put in brand new windows. Let's do something that increases the value of our home and makes it warm and safe and secure. IrelandContracting.com, Southwestern Pennsylvania's experts. Don't ask them to go inside because they don't do the inside. They do the outside. And I'm not even going to tell you about their electrician son, Dan, because you're not allowed to call him before he comes out to my house. I'm going to boycott that.
Wow.
1-800-NEW-ROOF, IrelandContracting.com. Hey, I got landscape lighting I got to get done. Let's roll. Basic
It's
woman.
Wendy's world. We're just living
Well,
in it.
finally, we all...
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family. She once hosted a 3-hour show in just 15 minutes. She once intimidated the Electoral College to audit itself. Her monologues are so sharp, they're considered a concealed carry weapon. Fact-checker sites routinely issue her a retraction a week in advance. Even her commercial breaks trend on social media. Her freedom of speech has diplomatic immunity. She doesn't just drain the swamp has to ask for cab fare. Wendy Bell is the most interesting conservative woman on radio. Keep rumbling, my friends. 3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. You know, one of the biggest mistakes you can make as a parent, and I've tried really hard not to make this mistake. I've made many. I don't think this is one of them, is threatening your children with some kind of punitive action, some kind of punishment if they either do or do not do fill in the blank. And then when they do or do not do that and you don't fill in the blank and follow through, you lose all control over your role as the head of the household. If your kids know that whatever they do has no consequence, right, then they do whatever they do and they get away with it. And there is discord in the family. It is the parent's fault. How many of us know parents who are like this? I know quite a few. And then the parents are always baffled that things aren't going along swimmingly. And it's like, look, it's like training a puppy, right? You've got to have expectations, parameters, expectations of behavior. And if they aren't fulfilled, there have to be consequences. I think collectively as Americans, we're tired of an entire class of scumbags not having any consequences. I mean, did you gag when Joe Biden gave Hillary Clinton the Presidential Medal of Freedom? Can you think of a darker, dirtier person to receive something that once it goes around her neck, completely sullies the meaning to everybody else? Because it's like racism. If everything's racist, nothing is. If everyone, including Hillary Clinton, can get a Presidential Medal of Freedom, then it really doesn't have much value. Tim Walz has to be investigated. The people, no matter who they are, how they vote, the lever they pull on election day, it doesn't matter. If you're screwing the people of America over, suck it. I believe I speak for the masses when I say there should be consequences. And if justice is in fact not blind, why don't we ever see it? We see a lot of people on the receiving end in conservative circles. But when the people on the Democrat side, on the liberal, progressive, socialist, Marxist, communist, nut job side are credibly, demonstrably accused, we're told don't worry about it. And a new explosion appears somewhere in order to divert our attention and cloud our eyes with smoke. I'm not so sure that's going to happen for Tim Walz. I don't think that's going to happen because now you've got Scott Bessent involved. Now you've got James Comer involved. And I don't think these people fool around. This is a headline from the New York Post. Treasury House panel launched probes into Tim Walz's handling of $1 billion food aid fraud. And they could make criminal referrals. 100%. I mean, honestly, what number would be a number that would surprise you out of 535 United States congressmen, women, and senators? What number being credibly accused of being criminal, behaving in a criminal fashion would surprise you? 75%? I wouldn't be surprised. 80%? I wouldn't be surprised at all. And I certainly wouldn't be surprised if our governors, many of them are dirty as stones too. So let's get the meat and potatoes here. A powerful U.S. House committee and the Treasury Department both launched investigations into Minnesota Governor Tim Walz's role in a massive fraud scheme that involved Somali immigrants bilking more than $1 billion from taxpayers. It's probably more like $10 billion, the whistleblowers say, right? This is like the vaccine adverse event reporting system, right? Where they only actually account for between 1% and 9% of the true vaccine injuries. So you have to multiply it. We're multiplying it. It's probably closer to 10. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer told the Post that his panel, quote, will conduct a thorough investigation into Governor Walz's failure to safeguard taxpayer dollars as a result. He said Minnesota Governor Tim Walz was warned about massive fraud in a pandemic food aid program for children, yet he failed to act. Instead, whistleblowers who raised concerns faced retaliation, Comer said. Because of Governor Walz's negligence, criminals, including Somali terrorists, stole nearly $1 billion from the program while children suffered, right? Donald Trump is out there threatening Nicolas Maduro. You better bail, dude, because you've been killing my people, and you've declared war on my people. And now I've got 11 warships stationed in the Caribbean Sea, and I'm giving you either the easy way or the hard way. You choose. Which way is it going to be? But you will move along. Your country will have elections. Your country will have the ability to save itself, but you must go. You do not get a golden parachute. You do not get control of the military. You do not get global amnesty for war crimes. You do get to scoot, but you do not get to avoid the consequences. Tim Walz is getting a similar call here. As chairman of the powerful GOP-led panel, Comer can issue subpoenas and refer alleged crimes to the Department of Justice for potential criminal prosecution. Think about how Tim Walz could be the first domino. Do you really think Tim Walz is going to go down by himself quietly? Are you kidding me? He'll squeal like a pig. Also on Monday, and this is the part that I found more intriguing, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent posted on X that he had instructed his investigators to dig into how, quote, the feckless mismanagement of the Biden administration and Governor Tim Walz allowed tax dollars to be funneled to al-Shabaab terrorists. Do you think, tapping into my opening monologue, talking about the first snow in the Pittsburgh area last night that completely snarled the morning rush hour because somehow people either never learned how to drive in the snow or forgot in the last few months. Do you think the people who are spinning out of control on the parkway, who have now squished into the berm and can't get out, do you think they know that their taxpayer money is funding terrorists to send people into this country who hate us and want to kill us? Because I'm going to go with no. So how do we tell them? How does one get educated when all they watch is fake news? The revelations about the scale of the $1 billion fraud for the COVID-era food relief program are new, as is the claim that some of the money flowed back to the Somali terrorist organization. But House Republicans have been looking at Walz in Minnesota over its leaky aid programs for months. Last year, Republicans on the House Education and Workforce Committee issued a subpoena to Walz for records, though it's unclear what information, if any, his office provided. How is that okay? How is it okay for Bill and Hillary Clinton to tell House Oversight, you know what, I really don't feel like coming in and telling you about my ties to Jeffrey Epstein, so we're just not going to show. Got it? How is that okay? Because the rules either apply universally to all of us on the road, or they don't. They don't get some Palmetto pass or some kind of ability to get in an easy pass fast lane to bypass all of the traffic that you and I are snarled in because of them. At least they ought not. This is where we are, and they've known about this forever. And it's been allowed to happen. Which, if you go out a little bit broader, and maybe go up to 30,000 feet where I like to settle and look down over the clouds to see how everybody is playing their cards and what's actually going on the ground. We begin to realize that this isn't just since COVID. This has been since ever. This is why there's never any term limits in Congress. There's so many ways to grift, to control, to sell influence, to bribe and blackmail, to con and cash in. And yet the very premise that our elected leaders are supposed to be representing us gets lost in the shuffle. You guys remember how, and what's wild here is that Tim Walz has actually awarded some of these Somalian guys, these people running this feeding our future fraud stuff, what's called the Outstanding Refugee Award. How totally ridiculous. This is the same thing as Joe Biden awarding Shay Moss and Ruby Freeman, the Fulton County election workers, who were like, oh, we got a water main break. We got everybody out. Everybody out. You know what? We're not going to do anything. We'll regroup in the morning, 8 a.m. Don't you worry about a daggone thing. We're just going to put paper. We're going to tape paper up on the walls, on the windows here so nobody can look in, but everything will be great. And then when they showed back up at 8 in the morning, it was a night of feeding all of those ballots into the machines. How many times? And they got, Shay and Ruby got Presidential Medals of Freedom. I mean, if you can cheat and get awarded, no wonder Hillary got one too, right? When we come back on the Wendy Bell Radio program, it's been nearly 5 years, but today we can tell you something pretty amazing. Gas prices are down, and they are down significantly. CNN having to choke out the story. It's beautiful. Let's go there next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I'm going to try a little experiment.
Oh boy.
I'm going to take home my watermelon lemonade MCT Wellness because I do really well until about 3. And then I want a beer. And if I can drink this
in your beer
instead of having a beer, Fatty Bobalatti loses some of the hops calories. The great American Slim Down. Mine is called hops. I can't help it. Well, we'll see. We will see what happens with Treasury Secretary Bessent. He doesn't seem like one to trifle with. Oh boy, we've got big sniper news. Big sniper news. Look how cute this is. Look at this cute little travel guy, right? This can go into your bags. This can go into your purse. It can go in your glove box, go into your briefcase. This is the ultimate spray when you're on the go, right? Don't need hand sanitizer. You don't need anything like that. You need a little sniper, antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial, anti-COVID, SARS, MRSA, you name it. The greatest spritz you will ever put on anything. And it's not toxic, right? You could literally spray it in your mouth and you'll be fine. It's good around pets and or pets and children. And it takes, you don't have to wipe it off either. So you can literally just, and all of the germs and the nonsense on your handles, on the toilet seat, all that stuff, poof, gone. If you order $30 of stuff at disinfectwithsniper.com.
That was yesterday.
You could have gotten this for free. That's what you could have gotten if you had bought it yesterday. But there is something that's coming that's going to be amazing. Disinfectwithsniper.com. Remember, we have these guys. These spices, Hunt Chef spices on disinfectwithsniper.com. But I think,
I love the site, and I'm glad he's doing that way where everything on there is organic, it's safe.
The Knockout, the Sniper, the Harmony,
And the
all
free
of
shipping.
it, the free shipping, the spices, like just good, hardworking people who produce good products.
And
we support that.
The inside story too is because you guys have bought so much stuff, you have his employees excited. They want to know when the next sale is. They want to know what the next thing they're going to put on the site. They're excited about it.
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Do I have time or no?
Or
to read anything else?
Got a minute.
I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll wait. I have to tell you guys about Iceman, and I'm not gonna try to zip through it, but my goodness.
One of my how many times has someone said it's the best thing you guys have brought?
It's the best
What?
thing. It's the best thing.
Give me coffee every day.
I know. Oh yes, CrescentMountainCoffee.com, you guys. You know,
Perfect Christmas
we're
gift.
trying to give you some ideas for people out there, and it's going to be sensational. You're going to love Crescent Mountain Coffee. Patriot Blend, Shazizzle Blend. It's so good. We make 10% off of the sale of every bag, which we then can turn around and give to a charity or a person that we really care about. And you've been able to let us do that. And that, you know, if you're not giving back, oh my gosh, I even made that card. I threw it like a propeller and it went into the trash. I'm buying all lottery tickets today.
Buy me one then.
Why?
Because apparently you're going to win one of them. Maybe it's mine.
Maybe so. Well, welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. This is a great surprise from CNN. And it, you know, this isn't one of those complicated stories either. So with Joe Biden, day number 1, hand on the Bible, he's swearing in, right? After that, moments after that, like what's the first thing he does? He shuts down the Keystone XL pipeline. Well, what does that do? It makes us reliant on other countries, including Saudi Arabia, etc., for our oil. Why would we need that when we have hundreds of years of it underneath our feet? Well, you'd have to ask yourself that very question. It's also curious, isn't it? All under the climate change, saving the planet. We don't want to drill in the Arctic Reserve. It's all good for Mother Earth. Oh, sit down. Trump says, fire up the pumps, get them going. Let's get new drilling happening. It's not happening nearly fast enough. But the prices are down. Prices are down bigly, maybe 7 cents this last week alone. Here's CNN coughing out the details, which I think are a long time coming.
This morning, some states seeing gas prices below $3 for the first time in years. Let's get to CNN's Matt Egan for the good news on this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to finally be here with some good news on the cost of living front. So for the first time in 4.5 years, gas prices are averaging $3 a gallon nationally, according to AAA, down by 7 cents in just the past week. Gas prices were low a year ago as well, but they're even cheaper now. This is encouraging to see because late last month there was a period where gas prices were actually higher this year than last year, but that has reversed again, and now we've just fractions of a penny away from breaking below $3 a gallon. Now, as you mentioned, we've got 20 states across the country where the average is actually less than $2.75 a gallon, including North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Colorado as well. Certainly nice to see this. Why is this happening? Well, it all comes down, of course, to oil prices, right? Oil prices are about $59 a barrel this morning. You look back in history, on December 1, 3 years ago, we're looking at $81 a barrel for oil, $67 even last year. So significantly cheaper. And that's because right now, supply of oil continues to outpace demand. It's U.S. supply. Production in the U.S. is at all-time highs. It's higher than last year, but only a little bit higher. OPEC is the big story, though, right? Saudi Red OPEC, they are ramping up production substantially this year. They've signaled that they plan to pause those output hikes next year. But for now, look, this is a good story when it comes to the affordability crisis. Gasoline, it's relatively cheap.
All right. Well, good news for now, Matt Egan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
For that.
Thank you very much indeed, President Trump, because you guys remember when Joe Biden drained the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, because we did. He did that to historical levels to lower gas prices because he was getting absolutely pummeled. I think he did it right before the midterms. Yet gas prices remain over $1 per gallon higher, right? We remember that. They remained so high during the course of his presidency. And do you guys remember Trump in his first term? Because I do. We had 9 of his, 12 cabinet members on our show. And we had his first energy secretary, Dan Brouillette, on the program. And he was telling us about the SPR. And I said, well, what is the Strategic Petroleum Reserve? And he was explaining to us that it's a series of reservoirs, areas that they tap on, that they fill up to the top. They fill up, and when they can, when the prices are good. And Trump tried to do it during his first term, and he got rejected. The members of Congress did not want the president to be able to fill up the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which would benefit you and me, of course. Anything to screw the president. He wanted to get ships, cargo vessels, and he wanted to get barrels of oil loaded to the gills all around the United States. Why? Because he could, and he knew what was coming. And what was coming, sadly, was Joe Biden. Look, gas prices, it's a huge barometer of the wellness of this economy. It's like the $11 billion that we spent yesterday on Cyber Monday, right? So we're told that these economic times are really tenuous. We've got rent and mortgages still through the roof. We've got interest rates that need to come down. We've got mortgage rates that need to settle, yes. And yet, Americans are out buying for the holidays. That is a sure sign of consumer confidence. Gas prices are a sure sign of economic health. So who's right and who's wrong? All I know is that you have a president who wants your country to be independent. And we were. We were under him the first time, and we are under him again. And all of this, fingers crossed, is going to lead to what? More manufacturing made in the USA. America's young men are waiting for that. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, we're going to talk about ICE moving into New Orleans. So immigration agents going into New Orleans, the pushback that sanctuary city has already put forward, and the number of criminally convicted people living in New Orleans from other countries. It's almost like it's a problem. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. I appreciated I love talking to Dan Brouillette. I thought he was fascinating. All of the very obvious things. And of course, Schumer and all those hacks didn't want him to have the success of filling up those reserves. Why? So they could, I guess, claim after he left office that he bankrupted us, or he drained them dry, or it was all, I don't know.
I think OPEC is ramping up theirs. Saudi Arabia to let Trump pack it cheap. Because they're ramping it up this year and not next year.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to pay attention to. So 4 out of 5 of us at some point in our lifetime is going to suffer from some spinal related problem. And it's an astronomical figure that we spend to treat the pain. Like, we treat pain pretty well, but we don't treat the root causes, right? And so it's like a $50 billion back pain industry, which is crazy. Dr. Richard Rafferty at the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh has a different philosophy. He's like, rather than medicating yourself, rather than needing pain meds every day of your life, which can really jack up your body, why not fix the problem and then get rid of the pain? Now, it's a little longer output. It takes 8 to 10 weeks of this therapy to go through the intra-disc neutrosis program that allows your discs, if they've degenerated or they've slipped or something happened to them, to get them back, to regrow them. 8 to 10 weeks. Meeting multiple times a week for this therapy at the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh versus rolling the dice on surgery that may or may not solve the problem and may or may not preclude you from being on pain meds all the time. I like what Doc Rafferty offers, and he's a sweetheart, and his staff is phenomenal, and the website is huge. It tells you everything you need to know. PittsburghDiscInstitute.com, PittsburghDiscInstitute.com, 412-906-9600. 412-906-9600. They're good people. Very good people. I'll give it a minute, and then I'll tell you guys about the Chef Man.
Well, real quick, Mr. Black Dog had a problem with Crescent Mountain Coffee ordering it. Hit the Wendy Bell collection, comes up, and then click on that bag, and it opens up to all the different blends that we have: bean, whole bean, ground. The Christmas blend's really good too. We don't talk about that very often.
I don't think I've had that. Has he sent that to us? Mm-hmm. Has he?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
You said it was good. I liked it.
I don't
That's
remember.
all that matters.
That you liked it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Wow.
I can't tell you how much I want to stick something in my left eye right now.
Do me come pokey in it.
Like I want to take remember how we used to get a cassette tape that had pulled out, and you'd get the pencil eraser and you go like that. I feel like if I put a pencil eraser on my eye and just like erased it, it would go away, but it won't. Yeah. Chef Man, 30% off everything. This is crazy. This is crazy. The indoor pizza oven, the obliterator blender, the slushy maker, the ice cream maker. Why settle for ordinary when you can give extraordinary gifts this holiday season, right? Bring home the fun, the flavor, and the memories. Visit chefman.com to make this holiday unforgettable. But do chefman.com/Wendy and then also put in my name for a promo code, and you'll get down to the bare bones price. So the indoor pizza oven, crispy crust, gooey cheese, everything, every time perfect. Perfect for family nights, for game day gatherings. The blender obliterator. It's not just powerful. It's smart. You can toss in fruits and veggies, ice, even nuts, and it crushes everything. It has its own auto blend technology. So like senses your ingredients and it's like, I think you want it a little bit more blended than that. You're like, thank you. Then there's the slushy maker, which every child would love and any adult who enjoys margaritas and such would enjoy. And of course, their ice cream maker, not just ice cream, it's ice cream, frozen yogurt, sorbet, sherbet, Italian ice. It's all from your own kitchen. You can customize flavors, control ingredients, and serve up happiness in minutes. I might get that for Michael. Chefman.com/Wendy, promo code Wendy at check. I'm going to go check. I've got a minute. Chefman.com. Oops. Chefman.com/Wendy. Okay. Let's see what you got.
All the shopping for Brian and Michael.
Oh, look at as seen on Wendy Bell Radio. Obliterator blender. Wow. Wow. I don't want that. I don't want that. The ice cream maker. Oh, give me the ice cream maker. Oh.
Jolene's watching. Jolene, you should buy the ice cream maker. Get up off a nickel.
See, wait a minute. It doesn't show me the ice cream maker. It only shows me those three things. So I'm going to have to search. Ice cream. Oh, there it is. And it just pops up. Well, why isn't it on your homepage? Add to cart. Let's see. 1. Check out.
That could be his company Christmas gift.
Okay, so that doesn't come up with my promo code. I'm going to have to talk to them. Let me see what the other stuff does. See how I do this in real time?
Back to the show.
No. As some polling, Rich Barris, People's Pundit, friend of the show, good friend of Sean Parnell's, our friend, put out a poll regarding how does the public feel about this new push by the Trump administration, which Caroline Leavitt, I will say, has beautifully articulated time and again without notes. This whole idea, we're done. We're done with other countries sending their worst to us. We're tired of people coming into this country to terrorize our people and to then mooch off of the generosity of a corrupt system. And it's not even generosity. The thing that's generous about us is that we're too polite to say anything. Well, you know what? I'm done. I'm not here to please anybody anymore. I don't care what you think. Sorry, not sorry. America feels that way. And this poll by Rich Barris tells us the majority of Americans, left, right, middle, all of us believe getting people out of here is a top priority. Period. Can you imagine how much money we would have? Honest to God. Can you imagine how much money we would have if the Republicans who suck, who signed on to the ridiculous $3.5 trillion bailout COVID monstrosity that paid people more to stay at home and do nothing than they would make if they went in on the job? And now we look in the mirror and we're like, I don't understand why nobody's looking for a job. It's like such a mystery. No, it's not. Why would you vote for that? Did you consult with your constituents? Because if they're conservative, they would have told you to suck it. Hell no, you're not going to sign that. Where does that money come from? It comes from we the people. And we the people are tired of paying other people to come over here and terrorize us. Right? It's the insult of getting sick from a virus that your government engineered using your tax dollars. And then they held a gun to your head and said, roll up your sleeve. You got to get this super duper special vaccine. And then you paid for the vaccine. Right? And then who gets rich? China. And who else? Tony Fauci and all the other people who got billions of dollars. Does that make sense? It's like kicking yourself in your own crotch. That's what we're doing. Right? That's what we're doing. So let me read this to you. It's from the Border Report, borderreport.com. Swamp Sweep. That's what they're calling it. Operation Swamp Sweep. I think some of these names are kind of gay, but whatever. No, that doesn't mean homosexual. And if that offended you, I don't care. Border Patrol-led crackdown heading to New Orleans, and not a moment too soon. Around 250 federal border agents are expected to launch a months-long immigration crackdown. Months-long. This isn't like until next Thursday. It's not until the new year. Months-long crackdown in southeast Louisiana and into Mississippi, dubbed Swamp Sweep. The deployment, which aims to arrest 5,000 people. That means that they know that there are at least that many people who should not be there, who are up to things that they should not be doing, right? Period. 5,000 arrests. It's centered in liberal New Orleans and is the latest federal immigration enforcement operation to target a Democratic-run city as President Donald Trump's administration pursues its mass deportation agenda. And they're cranking up the flippin' Bunsen burner underneath the beaker here. They're like, look, it's not just these 11 or 19 countries. There are 54 third world countries, and we should ban all of them. 33 of them are in, Africa, right? Do you guys think that there might be some cultural differences between people who live in Africa, right? Who don't have government, who don't have money, who don't have food? And what we do in America? I'm going to go with yes. Yes. Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino, who has led aggressive operations in Chicago, LA, Charlotte, North Carolina, is expected to helm the campaign. Well, now, why would this be? Why would they need to be doing this in New Orleans? Well, let's tap into News Nation right now. They offered a report last night on a staggering number of illegal aliens in New Orleans who've received final orders of deportation. Look, this isn't like a suggestion. When you get a final order of deportation, it's not like, hey, when you get all your affairs together and you say your goodbyes, meet us at the border and we'll push you across. It's not like Hillary and Bill Clinton. Hey, we'd love you to come in and talk to us about Jeffrey Epstein because you guys were there with him more often than anybody else, right? And the Clintons being like, well, I don't really feel like it. This is not like that. You ready for this report? Jaw on the ground. Go.
So we know right now Chief Gregory Bovino, he's the one that will be running the operations here in New Orleans. He also ran the operations in Chicago, LA, and Charlotte as well. They're actually in transit right now to get to the Louisiana area, New Orleans area. So those operations will begin in the coming days. But why New Orleans? Well, as you might imagine, we obtained data exclusively from our sources, as we usually do here at News Nation. When it comes to the Louisiana area, we're looking at nearly 80,000 illegal immigrants with a final order of removal. More than 15,000 are convicted criminals out of nearly 350,000 active ICE cases. And when we talk about those special interest countries, we have some data on those as well. So we're talking about roughly 35,000 cases in the Louisiana area. When it comes to those 19, quote, high-risk countries, those special interest countries, we know that at least 2,200 of them are living in this area with a final order of removal. That means a judge said they don't qualify for asylum and they have to leave. Now, 570 of them are roughly convicted criminals, Nicole. So that gives us kind of a picture as to why we will see some sweeping enforcement here in New Orleans as well.
What did you hear for years? Donald Trump saying they opened up their asylums. They opened up their insane institutions. They opened their prisons and said, you know what? Hop on this plane. Free ticket to ride. Sayonara. We know where you're going. Don't come back. And here they are. And you've got white, college-educated, wine-drinking, suburban, liberal soccer moms who are staging sit-ins against immigration custom enforcement. Like, what? What happened to you? Where are you? Is it going to resonate with you when your daughter gets gang raped and murdered and is left in a ravine? Is that going to be the moment when you realize, oh, snap? These are not good people seeking asylum, and they can dance around the semantics of it all they want. These aren't criminal, illegal aliens. They're asylees, parolees. No, I want to punch Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez every time she says that. You can't change the word to change who they are. They broke our laws to get here. And 20% of those who've received final deportation orders from New Orleans, from Louisiana, are criminals. These aren't like, oh, he stole a Snicker bar. These are people who are vicious. Welcome to your Democrats opening the door to illegal immigration. Caroline Levitt said, look, Trump he's real close to total glove drop. He's really close to considering more travel restrictions from countries that hate us, suspending all travel from all third world countries. And the list is long. Here's Caroline.
Several months ago, he announced a travel ban on 19 third world and failed state countries around the world. Secretary Noem announced tonight she's recommending that travel ban widens and covers more countries around the globe. Special immigrant visas, which we know many Afghans have used to come into our country, there has been a complete suspension and pause on all of those. If you look at the entire visa process in general, we have greatly strengthened and heightened the vetting process and requirements for that under Secretary Rubio's leadership at the State Department. And he has used his authority, which is unprecedented, to actually revoke the visas of many individuals who, yes, came here legally, but still pose a risk to our country and should have never been allowed in the first place. And I would just remind people around the world that coming to the United States of America is a privilege. It is not a right. And if you abuse that privilege, and if you don't align with the values of the United States and you don't respect our country, our culture, our laws, and our people, you are not welcome here under the leadership of President Donald J. Trump.
Are there any questions about that? I think that's perfectly reasonable. And any bleeding liberal out there who's like, no, these people, they need help. Why did so many young single men of fighting age cross into this country? Where are they all? Because it was just one lunatic from Afghanistan who we understand allegedly was groomed or indoctrinated into hating America after he got here, right? Who killed office or National Guard member Sarah Beckstrom, right? Don't we all agree that these people, they need to go? Well, the Department of Justice has accused New Orleans of doing everything it can, much like LA, much like Chicago, of undermining federal immigration enforcement and included it on a list of 18 so-called sanctuary cities. The city's jail, which has been under long-standing oversight from a federal judge, does not cooperate with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement under most circumstances. And its police department views immigration enforcement as a civil matter outside of its jurisdiction. Isn't that neato? Why is it that the Democrat Party does everything it can to make your life more complicated, to make it more expensive, to make it more cumbersome, to make it more everything that's bad for you, unsafe? Why do they work to protect people who hate us? Why do they work to protect the cartels who are working to kill us? Why do they bounce criminals in hours? People like DeCarlos Brown, who nearly decapitated Irina Narutska. Why? It's almost like they hate America too. Now, if you're a Democrat and these are the people you vote for, and these are the ways they handle law and order, how do you look in the mirror at night? Brushing your teeth, washing your face, getting ready for bed, and look back at that reflection and be like, yep, I'm a good person. Because what you're doing is putting the entirety of the United States in danger. You're the person merging onto the highway who doesn't know how to do it. And now it's snowing and you're panicked. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends, John Fredericks, in fact, in the House, in the White House press briefing room, asking a question of Caroline Leavitt, taking a major dig at the fake news. Did you hear about the new website that the White House just launched? Oh, yeah. It's triggering quite a few reporters. We'll explain why next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. It's a lot of talking. All right, Healthy Cell. I'll tell you what, I'll talk about them all day long. So I gave Michael one of the Healthy Cell things the other night, and I didn't say anything to him about it. I was going to see if he was going to say something to me. He's been having some trouble sleeping, and I think there's a lot of anxiety and whatnot going on in his world right now, and he's having a hard time shutting off his mind. A lot of us have issues like that periodically. So I said to him, I'm like, why don't you try this? And he did, and he got some rest. And then he said to me yesterday, how do I get that? I'm like, I'll hook you up, Michael. I know people. I don't know a lot of people, but I know that person.
I have a guy.
I got a guy, and her name is Tara. HealthyCell.com/Wendy. I've been taking Healthy Cell for about 6 weeks now. This is Karen. She says, I deal with anxiety and I worry from time to time. It can be so stressful. I have found that Healthy Cell Calm does exactly what it says. It keeps me calm. Does not mask my emotions. I get excited. I get angry. I get sad. That doesn't change, but I definitely feel calmer. I can be a terrible car passenger, but I noticed the other day I was not affected. What a relief. I love the fact that worrying is not a major issue for me anymore. Your advertisers are top-notch. I use many of them. Thank you for all you and Brock do. I love you guys, Karen. I love you back. HealthyCell.com/Wendy. Microgel packs with your supplementation in them. Healthy skin and nails, cardiovascular stuff, blood sugar help. How about focus and recall, your sleep, the immune defense one, 15 formulas, all listed at healthycell.com/Wendy. Scroll to the bottom. Your first order, I believe you get 20% off. Scroll to the bottom because they do these like bundles. So they'll do 2 and, and they'll give you a reduction in cost. And there's one that's the AM and the PM. The AM is the focus and the recall, and the PM is the health, is the REM sleep. And they give you a great discount on that. Healthycell.com/Wendy gives you supplements that are now 165%. They have found through their research more absorbable by your body instead of going through your gut. You don't poop out the pills. You get them into your blood. Let's go. All right.
Let's hit the Rumble button, please.
Do we need it?
We're not even close to 3.
What?
We're at 281.
Oh, my goodness.
And
you guys, we got to hit 3 by the... Oh, come on. It's that thumbs up button underneath the video box, please, and then hit the follow button next to it.
The Second Amendment gifts, Friday. Not today. It's going to say sold out Friday.
Is it on the website yet?
Well, the first series, which there will be 50 of those. The next one will say, look exactly the same, but it will say North is still North edition. Friday. Not today, not tomorrow, not Thursday. Friday.
I'm getting that. I'm understanding what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh.
In the mugs, you guys can give Jolene crap on the stream. Good Hope is hard to find,
Wow. All right, come on. We need 190 people to get to... That's terrible. We've got almost 1,000 on X. 80 people. Come on, you guys were just sitting on it. Come on, you're making me beg. Can't we come back at 3 or at 11:06 or whatever?
Oh, we're 293 already.
And have 3.22. Come on.
Maybe this will help.
Joy about this president is when he sees things that aren't getting done, he takes care of them, right? He's known and has talked about the need for a ballroom of some nature at the White House, not for himself, not for his friends, not for white people, not for conservatives, but for generations of presidents to come, so that world leaders can come to a state-of-the-art, truly magnificent ballroom, and women don't have to get their heels stuck in the mud because there's no space, and they put out these tents and they try to put down stuff on the ground, but it's always tacky. It's not fitting the leader of the world, and that is the United States, right? Trump filled that void. He found the funding. He did his own funding. You don't pay for it. And so when you have a news apparatus, as we do with the fake news, and it's so pervasive, 90+% negative coverage of this president, no matter what he does, doesn't matter, right? He has to take action. And so the White House did. They've put out a new website, which in real time debunks the fake news. So it presents what their fake narrative is and puts a, disgraced kind of sticker on them, and then tells you the reality of what is going on. It is so dangerous to have a disingenuous media. And I speak from experience in that regard. I find it deeply offensive as a former member of the mainstream media. I've since recovered. It took time, right? And being fired 3 times, but I made it. It's offensive. I want you to hear John Fredericks from the John Fredericks Radio Network, which carries this wonderful program, the Wendy Bell Radio Show. He's talking to Caroline Leavitt in the press room, and he's like, look, I understand you guys have launched this new website to hold the fake news accountable. What's that all about? Oh, you got to love it.
House today launched a new fake news portal, which I found interesting. What is your objective with that, ultimately? And are you going to name the news networks? And are you also going to name some of the correspondents, some which may be here today?
Yes, we are. I'm glad you noticed. Much to the dismay of some of your colleagues in the room, John. And I think it goes to our original promise on day one to hold the media accountable, because unfortunately, and we deal with this all day, every day around here, there are so many fake stories that are unfortunately written that have inaccurate characterizations of meetings that took place, and it's all based on anonymous sourcing. And, you know, the standard for journalism, unfortunately, has dropped to such a historic low in this country. And again, we deal with it every day, where you can have an anonymous source who has no idea what they're talking about, zero credibility, call up a reporter in Washington and say, hey, I heard this, and then the next thing you know, it's on the front page of the New York Times. It's really incomprehensible. We appreciate the journalists, some of those who are in this room who do reach out for comment, who try to get things right, and there are some that remain. But overwhelmingly, the fake news that we see pumped out of this building on a day-to-day basis, it's honestly overwhelming to keep up with it all, and to constantly have to defend against these fake news and these attacks.
So, but we will, since you guys cannot be held accountable. You cannot be left to your own recognizance. You have not been punished enough for your failure to live up to the body politics expectations. We're going to put out this fake news website, whitehouse.gov/media bias. It's how you find it. And it says misleading, biased, exposed, and it says media offender of the week. You've got the Boston Globe, CBS News, and the Independent, and they're getting blown out here for misrepresenting President Trump's call for members of Congress to be held accountable for inciting sedition by saying that he called for their execution. What did he really say? Well, this is what the White House new webpage says. The Democrats and fake news media subversively implied that President Trump has issued illegal orders to service members. Every order President Trump has issued has been lawful. It is dangerous for sitting members of Congress to incite insubordination in the United States military. And President Trump called for them to be held accountable. It goes through the whole story and debunks things that the left has said. Now, I will take umbrage with one thing Caroline Leavitt said. She said, you know what will happen is anonymous sources will call a reporter and drop silly allegations with actually no facts, no resources, or what have you. And that just gets trotted out there as though it's the gospel. I'm going to take it a step further. I don't really think there are anonymous sources. I think there are fictitious sources. I think when you can hide behind the veil of sources familiar with the investigation who asked to be, whose identification is being, kept quiet so they can blah, blah. That's smoke screening for we're about to drop a monster whopper on you. And the whopper last week was President Trump calling for the execution of the seditious six. Good for the White House. Got to debunk it somehow. You can't let the press do it themselves because they've proven themselves incapable and untrustworthy. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, speaking of the media, he's trying to delegitimize them. Brian Stelter, literal meltdown. It's so brilliant. The irony is delicious. Every last drop. Don't miss a moment. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
I saw you cringe at written.
I hate it.
You gotta love how the guy that calls out the media in front of their face, John, it takes no one in that media room was going to bring up the new site. It takes a guy who's not mainstream media to call them out. It's a fantastic site. I love it. I love I love when they call them out right to their face because you know they want to scream and shout. And you know the fake news. And anyone who doesn't think Mark Kelly is going to try to run for president. I mean, how many of you out there think that Mark Kelly's hoping for president or a VP pick with all this? He's all over the media now, saying nothing. Saying nothing. Could happen. Didn't happen, but if it happens in the future, he's just getting his name out there and he's getting people to recognize his face. That's it. He's trying to give himself some kind of notoriety. He's running. I don't like Mark Kelly either. He's done nothing other than go to space and be a veteran, which is all he runs on. I think Mark Kelly's going to run for VP. What do you think? I think he's going to run for president, but not knowing full well he won't become president.
I don't know. I feel Marco Rubio is going to run.
Well, for Democrats.
I understand the fact. Really? Is that what it is?
I don't know. You kind of threw Marco Rubio out
I've been
there,
thinking about him.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Friday.
What's Friday? The week before your birthday?
Really? What have we been talking about Friday? What's going to happen Friday?
Okay.
Yes. Just reminding.
The Simkovich Concussion Institute, when you feel like you're literally ramming yourself into a wall and there's no relief in sight, there is. His name is Dr. Charles Simkovich. In all seriousness, we are so very grateful to Dr. Charles Simkovich and all those wonderful people at your office. Thank you for the work you do and all you have done to help our daughter. After 9 years of searching for answers, we found you. You will forever hold a special place in our hearts. Dr. Simkovich will always mean so much to my family. He's always helped Grant with headaches and then helped my sister after an awful car accident. He's an angel from heaven. This is the absolute best decision I have ever made to help with my concussion and subsequent headaches. I wholeheartedly recommend Dr. Charles Simkovich. It's amazing to me how concussions can cause so many things, can lead to all kinds of neurological disorders and even personality changes, not to mention memory loss. If you know somebody who has been concussed and suffering from these things, you should see Dr. Charles Simkovich. Look him up. Dr. Simkovich is amazing, and you need to call him if you suffer from a concussion. 412-366-3700. SimkovichConcussionInstitute.com. So what do you think the odds are that our roads are going to be better? They'll probably be treated by the time we leave, right?
It's over 30 degrees, and the roads weren't warm enough for it to be bad to begin with. I didn't really see a problem this morning, to be honest. I mean, I took my time, but
it's vexing. It's really vexing. It's like I said, it's like playing poker with somebody on third base who doesn't understand. Not poker, blackjack, you know? It's frustrating. Like having a gelatinous blob in your eye. I can't tell you how annoyed I am right now. Like it gets like increasingly bad during the day.
When's your
sucks.
appointment?
I don't have one yet. But if I call my new place that I got my new glasses from and then had to get new ones made because I scratched them, it's so embarrassing. The gal who works there is a me fan now.
Ooh.
She started watching on Instagram.
Well, you better start telling her.
She saw on my
me in.
intake form that I was Wendy Bell Radio. And she's like, what's that? So she put it in the Wayback Machine. And up came Instagram that Michael does. And she's like, I love your things. And I was like, do you have the app? She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, we have a whole 3-hour show. She's like, there's more of you than just that. I'm like,
wow. And while we're here, can I get another appointment?
Yes. And by the way, I have some kind of corneal problem.
She can be your gal. I got a gal.
It's hard for you to watch me fiddle with my eyes, isn't it? It's terrible. You can't do it. It's difficult. Makes your eyes water. My son Bobby, if he sees,
I don't like people touching their eyes.
If he's yeah, that's gross. But if he sees me put in eye drops, his eyes get all watery and they start pouring down. It's hilarious. I'm like,
it's
Bobby.
like someone throws up like a sympathy thrower upper. He's a sympathy eye problemer.
Do your dog?
That's not sympathy. That's me running out the door, dragging
Get
the
out,
dog with
get
me.
out. Do not barf on the
Get to the
carpet.
hardwood floor at least, please.
It's so true. That is so true.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wendy Bell, America's anchor mom, fighting for America 1 hour at a time. Welcome to the family.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
3 hours of bold truth and excellence. You've just signed up for the WBR Army. Strap in. This is the Wendy Bell radio program.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Wendy Bell radio program is live. A delight, as always, to share this time with you. Reminder, if you're just new to the show, we've been in this time slot for about 4 years. And come January 5th, the beginning of the new year, the first Monday of the new year, Brock and I and this Wendy Bell radio program will be switching to a later time. We'll be broadcasting live Eastern from noon until 3. And we hope you're able to make the switch with us. So thank you very much for being part of our family. I so appreciate you. It's so interesting when you hear people without integrity try to talk as though they do. And I'm speaking specifically about Brian Stelter, the media guy from CNN. And I don't normally find him all that interesting because I very much dislike the disingenuous trajectory of the news. You know, it's a field that matters to me. I cared about it when I went to college. I cared about it when I went further and got an advanced degree in broadcasting, right? I wrote a master's thesis on television news ratings and how the advent of overnight instantaneous results impact programming and news decisions and delivery and sales and all of that. I was in it to be in it forever. And I did very well at it until I woke up and found myself on that highway, as I told you about in the beginning of the monologue, where I woke up. And I began to see what had been going on around me. And I'd been very busy raising my family, doing that weird shift where you'd go in for, you know, the 5 o'clock news. And then after the 6 o'clock, race home to give the boys dinner and check out homework and give baths. And then race back to the TV studio after that to do the 11 o'clock news, come home, hopefully be in bed by 12 or 12:30 and have the whole thing start again the next day. I was in it. I was committed. I was busy. I didn't know. because it's been corrupt for a while. And so the Trump administration put out this thing we told you about in the last hour, this media tracker, if you will, the media bias tracker, a brand new transparency tool. And it's curious how people like Brian Stelter, who lie quite commonly, whether he means to or not, you have to believe he does because it's so pervasive. He's taking umbrage with it. And he says some things which I think are truly incredulous. I want to read you this, though. This is from the Gateway Pundit. CNN melts down. Brian Stelter spirals over the new Trump administration webpage, exposing rampant media bias, and he claims it's all a plot to delegitimize the media. Well, you can't be delegitimized if you don't have legitimacy, Brian. And long ago, I think we all started paying attention to how deeply biased and fake the media are. I mean, it's stunning, their random acts of journalism every now and again remind us what it used to be. The Trump administration has officially declared open season on fake news. And the corporate media is absolutely losing it. On Friday, the White House rolled out a brand new transparency tool, the Media Bias Tracker. It's a permanent fixture now on the whitehouse.gov website, designed to chronicle the nonstop lies, distortions, hoaxes, and misleading narratives pumped out daily by legacy outlets that have spent 8 years obsessively targeting President Trump. The tracker is introduced as a record of the media's false and misleading stories flagged by the White House, but its scope is actually much broader. It includes an offender hall of shame, a leaderboard ranking the worst repeat offenders, and detailed write-ups documenting how the most powerful institutions in American journalism continually peddle misinformation designed to undermine Trump, his administration, and his voters. And I would go a further step and to deceive Democrats. For the media, the truth hurts. At the top of the leaderboard sits the Washington Post, publication that falsely claims to engage in, quote, rigorous journalism while pumping out some of the most debunked anti-Trump narratives of the last decade. Following closely behind, MSNBC, which is recently rebranded as MS Now, but still the same left-wing activism operation, followed by CBS News, CNN, the New York Times, Politico, and the Wall Street Journal. The site also features a video of Democrat Senators Mark Kelly and Alyssa Slotkin, as well as Democratic Rep. Chris Deluzio labeling their recent attempt to incite disobedience in the military as seditious. And Mark Kelly now faces a Department of War investigation and potentially recall into active duty for court-martial proceedings due to misconduct under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So I want you to hear, with all that being said, and we can demonstrably go through and fact-check any of these bullcrap stories that the media put out there. I want you to hear this anchor babe basically portraying Trump as attacking the media. She's setting up the story. Let's bring in our chief, media liar, Brian Stelter. I want you to just even listen to how the news anchor sets up the story. It's dripping with bias and hate. Listen.
The president has ramped up his attacks on journalists in recent weeks. This isn't a new strategy for him. We have seen this. What is this all about? Is this just about controlling the narrative?
Is this about controlling the narrative? You mean the narrative that you guys tried to control for 4 freaking years, make it 8? That Trump was a Russian asset, that Trump was colluding with so-and-so, that Trump was dealing with Ukraine, Trump was going after Joe Biden, Trump had hookers pee on him in a bed that Michelle Obama and Barack slept in? I mean, what else? What else can you lie? That he, needed to be impeached twice, indicted 4 times, criminally charged 91 times? Like, what? That's what you guys are doing, trying to control a narrative, present a narrative. Joe Biden was perfect. Everything was great. He was doing fine. Don't worry about it. He's walking up the short steps on the plane. No big deal. His shoes are orthopedic. He's an old man. What do you expect? Well, this is when Brian Stelter comes in and portrays the liberal media as Trump's victims. And he even tries to defend, of all people, Whoopi Goldberg. He calls her an entertainer and not a far-left media hack, socialist, communist, Marxist. Here you go.
To delegitimize the media. I would say it's to delegitimize the media, Jessica. This media bias monitor is being produced at taxpayer expense. It's a featured part of the White House website, and it's about trying to tarnish and demean various news outlets, as well as media outlets that have nothing to do with the news business. For example, one of the targets of this White House webpage is Whoopi Goldberg, the entertainer who co-hosts The View. So it's about targeting perceived liberals, perceived enemies, and as always, trying to attack the messenger.
Attack the messenger. Brock, did you realize that Whoopi Goldberg doesn't belong to a news organization? She just talks about the news all the time.
Well, she has Sonny Hostin to point everything out.
Well, that's true. She's an entertainer. No, these people wade into politics the same way they waded into the vaccine. Told you were a bad person if you didn't do what they were doing, right? But she's an entertainer, according to Brian Stelter. Then he goes on and he admits Trump's words and his quote unquote attacks on reporters actually do something that's beneficial for these flailing media outlets. People are actually interested in what is President Trump talking about. And so they might read these reports. Listen.
But here's what happens whenever the president or his aides go after a journalist or go after a news outlet. It makes people wonder what the fuss is about, what the controversy is about. The other day, the president called a New York Times reporter ugly. It made more people want to read the story and find out what the story was about. That story was about the president's stamina and how he's less visible than he was during Trump 1.0 back in 2017. When he called a reporter at CBS stupid the other day, I wanted to know, what was that story about? The reporter was asking about Afghans coming to the U.S. and the vetting process of the U.S. government. A couple weeks ago, and the president called a reporter piggy. What was she asking about? The Epstein files. So I think when the president insults reporters or when the White House goes and claims media outlets are biased, it might draw more attention, more curiosity about what the stories are about.
Isn't that interesting how he set that up, right? Showing you all of the off-color things that President Trump has said about reporters as he's attacking them. No comments at all about the lies that are put out there by those outlets. And finally, criticism of the media. Brian Stelter wants you to know it's good, but we should let people decide for themselves. This is really about taking the media's credibility away.
It might actually draw more attention to the questions being asked. And that way people can make up their own minds about whether the stories are legitimate, whether the questions are fair. Look, the White House, like any other entity, it can go ahead and criticize the press. Criticism can be a good thing. But when I look at this particular media bias monitor, it seems mostly to be a way to delegitimize the press.
Again, those without credibility cannot be, right, delegitimized. Those who have no legitimacy because they long ago lost it when they lost their minds that 63 million of us showed up in November of 2016 and said no freaking way to Hillary Rodham Clinton. They still hold you responsible. Isn't that neat? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, my friends, with racism no longer working, apparently Chuck Schumer has to rely on the old standby. He's getting death threats. He's getting death threats from MAGA. Right. Next. We'll get into this poll from Rich Barris when we come back, too.
I always thought Whoopi was a news person because she hasn't entertained in years. So
I think it's funny how he paints her as being like kind of this nonpartisan. These women are just, it's all about campy entertainment and fun. And it's like, no, they long ago waded into the world of politics, which is really stupid. And it's like what Keith Olbermann did.
What Brian doesn't understand is we aren't laughing with Whoopi. We're laughing at Whoopi because she is stupid.
Well,
and she is ill-informed.
Unfortunately, yeah, she is just a mouthpiece of what the mainstream media talk about. And it's demonstrably bullcrap.
Yeah.
You know, it's just how it goes.
And you know what? Some people are ugly. If someone said Brock's ugly, I'd be like, nah.
Some people are piggy. Some people are piggy. Yeah. Some people are piggy.
You
right?
know, just what, or Peggy, and
And by the way, him calling what's his face retarded. Read the definition of retarded.
Well,
it fits.
You know what? Words only hurt if you let them.
Yes.
I
Well,
mean,
you have to
grow
be a
up.
victim.
Like, yeah, really? Like, that's the worst thing you've ever been called, Tim?
Right?
I mean, they call you Tampon Tim.
Right? Let's look at, I'm going to put into perplexity. Brock, my all school, let me see. What did I not do? We did Chef Man.
Mm-hmm.
I did Genucel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to do another one. I'll do Spike Detox tomorrow, so we're cool on that. All right, that's good. Let's see.
I think you got them all.
Yeah, I think so. How are you guys doing? I personally don't want to be disappointed. 322. I need 322. We're literally 10 away. I'm throwing up my hands with you people because literally 300 people. I need 300 people to push us to that 7 or to the 3.5 mark. That's somewhat presentable, respectable. We were number 4 yesterday, but number 1 in your hearts. Number 1. Number 1 in terms of the rumbles. So the percentage of people watching and people rumbling, we had just shy of 5%, maybe just over 4%, something like that.
And yes, January 5th, there is a time change, noon to 3. I guess someone caught the tail end of it. Noon to 3, starting January 5th.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We just want to sleep in.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
It's going to be rough. It's going to be training my dog not to wake me up at 2:30 in the morning.
It'll work out.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do fine.
Minor adjustment.
I think at the end of the day, it'll be way beneficial.
We won't have to worry about the roads.
Well, ostensibly, they'll be taken care of at that time.
No, it's Pittsburgh.
It's well said. All right, let's go. Are we getting close to 3 now? 250 people to get to that beautiful sacred spot of 3.5. Yeah, it'll be a big change. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Gonna miss you guys. Oh, well, okay. You do know that there's the podcast and you can replay this anytime you want.
It's good for our friends on the West Coast and in New Zealand.
Yeah.
We have a friend in New Zealand who watches, and he's great. And he sends us messages quite commonly, which I think is wonderful. So our friend Rich Barris, the People's Pundit, put out a poll yesterday. Breaking: Americans support President Trump's third world immigration ban by a stunning 21 points, 55% to 34%. I love that there's like 10% who have no opinion. And you're like, how do you not have an opinion? Honest to God. But I'll take it. By 21, the people want Trump and the Republicans to dig in on this anti-immigration stance. It's not complicated. What is complicated, and this is kind of curious, Chuck Schumer. Oh, Chuck. What's going to happen to you, Chuck? Gateway Pundit headline just in. Schumer claims 3 of his New York offices received MAGA bomb threats. All right, how many of you out there know a lot of people who love the idea of making America great again? Who would send a bomb threat to somebody? We won't even knock on each other's doors to pester each other about going to vote. You really think somebody's going to be like, look, if you don't leave, we're going to bomb you. Signed, MAGA. I mean, like, right? That's so dumb. But it is Chuck Schumer, so let's go. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer on Monday claimed 3 of his offices received MAGA bomb threats. Democrat Schumer made sure to play victim after more than a year of nonstop left-wing violence. What'd they do? Oh, I don't know. All of your pregnancy centers, your abortion places, places where Planned Parenthood, right, would be opposed. Churches defaced, right? All of the stuff that they've done, but it's MAGA calling. Okay. 2 West Virginia National Guard members, shot in an ambush-style shooting by one of Joe Biden's illegal alien Afghanis last week. But now we've got Schumer Smollett. Schumer Smollett is now claiming he's dodging MAGA bomb threats. I swear, it was a noose. It was dangling there. It looked like it was for me. And then they were like, hey, Bubba, that was a garage pull. Well, it looked like a noose. Okay. Did you really think it was going to get around your neck? What? So this is what Schumer said this morning. I was informed by law enforcement entities throughout New York, and multiple bomb threats were made at my offices in Rochester, Binghamton, and Long Island, with the email subject line, MAGA. I'm gonna get you. I mean, like, come on. Nobody who was MAGA would sign it. Signed, like, I'm gonna kill you. Signed, MAGA. Merry Christmas. What? That's the dumbest thing I've. This morning, I have to read it again. I'm sorry, I won't laugh so hard. This morning. I was informed by law enforcement entities throughout New York of multiple bomb threats that were made at my offices. The email subject line MAGA and from an email address alleging the 2020 election was rigged. Oh my gosh, he's onto it.
Doesn't Chuck realize that his base hates him more than MAGA does?
I mean, do we have Scooby and Shaggy anywhere? I've got some Scooby snags somewhere. I mean, we can get them on the case and see if we track them down. Right? It's totally ridiculous, Chuck. MAGA. The line said MAGA. Local and federal law enforcement responded immediately and are conducting full security sweeps. Everyone is safe. And I'm grateful for their quick and professional response to ensure that these offices remain safe and secure for all New Yorkers. As I've said many times, Schumer added, these kinds of violent threats have absolutely no place in our political system. Wait a minute. Let me tell you, Gorsuch. Let me tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. Oh, wait a minute. What happened right outside Brett Kavanaugh's house? Oh, that whack job who flew from Simi Valley, California across the United States with a gun and zip ties and all sorts of other things, handcuffs and knives, whatever, who was going to go kill Brett Kavanaugh right after. You have released the whirlwind. Hey, Chuck, look. There's no MAGA out there that wants you dead. You're way too much. You're so valuable alive to us. We need you in perpetuity, brother. I'll come and provide my own physical protection for your safety. How about that? That's how committed I am. That's called bipartisan workmanship. It's ridiculous. Signed, MAGA. When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, we don't want them. Not one of them. Kristi Noem dropping the gloves. You're an illegal alien. Get out. We're done. No more questions asked. What next? I started to sweat a little bit. Signed MAGA, right?
It's probably Ronald McDonald pissed off how he makes hamburgers.
Oh my goodness. How dumb. Signed MAGA. It's like Donald Trump making a nudie birthday card for Jeffrey Epstein and his signature being her pubic hair. That makes perfect. That's what I would envision. How are you doing?
That'll get me going.
That's so disgusting. Oh, it shouldn't be this much fun, you guys. I'm sorry. I am sweating slightly, but it's to be expected. Signed, MAGA. Dear Chuck, we're out to get you. We're going to bomb your places. Love, MAGA. Okay. That's like the pipe bomb of January 6th. Whoever could that be? Oh, it looks like it's Secret Service agent. Looks like somebody who might be a Capitol Police officer. What are they doing? Getting some phony baloney piece of like what? It was supposed to be TNT, right? And some kitchen timer. I'm like, and then we're going to erase everybody's text messages from the Secret Service that day. Bzzzt. All of them disappear, right? Bzzzt. And by the way, if there had been a pipe bomb, why wasn't everybody hopping around Kamala Harris? Because she was about to be inaugurated. He was about to be inaugurated. She was about to be sworn in, right? Oh, no. Oh, no. Nothing. It's so dumb. Ah. I hate dumb people who think they're smart. Just saying. Don't you? Right? How's everybody? Hi, Pope. Chuck is a tard. Yeah, I would agree. Wopsy Hockey. Hi. Signed Mr. and Mrs. MAGA. Exactly, right? Signed Joe MAGA. Hi, Skizmo. Chuck the Schmuck is dumb as a rock. What's up, Joe Buff? Hi, Tiedman. What's going on, Robert Myers, and Jenny Webb? Hey, R14. Hi, Prue. Pod Racer, Ultra, Demanda, Boston, Dave. What's up, Dan059? Hi, Front Porch.
Away.
I love you back, Viper. Thank you so much. Hoodoo, you're so nice. You're so nice. Thank you. Love Wendy forever, says Boston Dave. Duh. Hi, Q-Fish. What's going on? Brock Goody wants you to say something nice to me.
I'm busy.
Hi, Mama Bear. How are you, sweetness? Hi, Sherry. What's up, Remy, sir? Hi, Tessa. And Jim's Ride. Rosie Riveter. Hello, 3R Cubed.
It's her mother's and her 15-year-old daughter's birthday.
Who?
Rosie Riveter, I think.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations. Happy birthday to both. That's wonderful. Yeah, Tiedman, I know we are MAGA. How many of you guys like to threaten others? Like, it's still not what I'm doing. Good morning, Julie Pals.
Well, in fairness,
Hi,
you threaten
Freebird.
to throw me down the stairs all the time.
Hi, Pope 907. What's up, Stephen 50? What's the great controversy? I don't know. I'll have to go and look at that. But I won't because I have to write Newsmax. I think this might be one of my last ones. I don't know. We'll have to see. That's going to free up a lot of my time. A lot of my time. Hi, Brenda, baby. Hopefully you're well. I see you're dancing. Hi, Kimba. Hi, Wombat. Sup? Hi, PA Hockey Mom. Hi, Civilized American. Murphy Boomer and I love your show. Well, thank you. Hi, Joma. Ginge, what's going on? Hi, 11 Callie. Amy Jean, hello. Hey, Glow. Yes, next Friday is Brock's 50th birthday. Anybody who would like to send tributes, P.O. Box 86033, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15221.
Don't waste the postage.
86033, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15221. What's up, Alfie? Oh, Alfie9, thank you for watching and being here on the app. I appreciate that. It's hard for me to read the app comments because I'm on the StreamYard one to monitor. So I appreciate you and do know that I appreciate you very much. Purple Flame, hello. Yeah, I know. Purple Flame, it's right. It's like Jasmine Crockett and white supremacist violence. You're like, really? Really?
Yes, you can send AR-15s. I will be accepting those at the post office box.
Those
are more than welcome.
Grandpa 5000. Hello. Hi, Hoodoo. Darius, if I haven't said good morning, good morning. I cannot wait to go home and wash my face.
I'll throw a snowball at you and hit you in the face. It's just like the same thing.
Do you think it's no? It's not bad out there, is it?
No.
Well, it's quite a bit.
Is your car covered?
No. All right.
So you're going to have to clean my car.
So we know 55% of Americans polled said they are completely in support of President Trump's third world immigration ban. 55%. It's a 21-point bonus for President Trump. 34% say they are not. Well, we are. And that's that. And in fact, Kristi Noem, I think she is done playing around. I think what she has seen, I think what she and Tom Homan have seen, Greg Bovino at ICE have seen, I think they're done. DHS Chief Kristi Noem wants full travel ban on every damn country, she says, sends killer migrants to the U.S. The words being chosen are changing. This is now full-out war. This is Trump positioning 11 naval warships like a flotilla in the Caribbean Sea aimed at Nicolas Maduro. What are you going to do, dude? What are you going to do? Because you know you can't fight us. You know that you did not win your last election. You know that everybody there wants you gone. You know that the people of Venezuela want a chance. You got to go. You got to go, and you got to go with no guarantees. And you know what we'll do? We'll give you 24 hours head start. You go wherever you need to go, settle yourself in, and we won't start looking for you for a day. Whatever it is, go hole yourself up. Right? Go hole yourself up somewhere. We're done. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem proposed a full travel ban. Full travel ban Monday on unnamed countries flooding the U.S. with dangerous migrants after a meeting with President Trump. That means he's done. I just met with the president, she wrote on X. I'm recommending a full travel ban on every damn country that's been flooding our nation with killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies. Our forefathers built this nation on blood, sweat, and the unyielding love of freedom. Not for foreign invaders to slaughter our heroes, suck dry our hard-earned tax dollars, or snatch the benefits owed to Americans, the DHS chief warned. We don't want them. Not one. Wow. A DHS spokesperson told the Post a list of nations affected by the proposed travel ban would be announced soon. The recommendation is the latest step from the Trump administration to reduce the flow of foreign nationals to the U.S. in the wake of last week's Thanksgiving Eve attack on 2 West Virginia National Guard members in D.C. The administration had previously announced it would halt all asylum decisions and re-examine more than 720,000 green card holders from 19 countries of concern after Ramanullah Lakwano, a 29-year-old Afghan national, allegedly gunned down Sarah Beckstrom and critically injured Andrew Wolf near the White House. The State Department has also paused visa issuance for individuals traveling on Afghan passports in response to the horrific attack. Who were the countries? What are the countries that are considered third world that, in fact, might be the real number banned? Well, the term third world apparently originated during the Cold War, I found, and it was to describe countries not aligned with NATO. It's now pretty outdated. It's often considered derogatory. I don't care. There are 44, maybe 45 nations that span regions with high poverty and underdevelopment that would be considered by the UN the least developed countries. We would call them third world. 32 of them are in Africa, you guys. Angola. I mean, some of these things you've not even heard before, right? Comoros, never heard of it, right? Congo, Ethiopia, Gambia, Guinea, Lesotho, Liberia, Madagascar, all of these, Malawi, Rwanda, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Somalia. Also Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Cambodia, Myanmar, Nepal, Haiti, right? Does that sound like it makes sense to you? It sounds like it makes sense to me. Does that sound like it's something that we should criticize? No. We didn't ask for these people to come in. Simply did not, and it is time for them to go. Now, so we've been hearing a lot about this special immigrant visas. It's a lot of people from Afghanistan. When Joe Biden's administration did that haphazard nightmare withdrawal, do you guys remember what they left behind when Joe Biden pulled out of Afghanistan? And this is just a small smattering from the U.S. Government Accountability Office. 600,000 small arms. 600,000. They would consider ARs and AKs. Small arms. 600,000. 200, more than 200 aircraft, including Chinook helicopters. Because, 30 million rounds of ammunition. 30 million rounds of ammunition. And 75,000 vehicles, including Humvees. They just left them, right? Left them. You guys use all these. That's on us. $83 billion worth of U.S. military hardware, machinery, and ammunition. There you go. So why was America working with the Taliban to import people from Afghanistan who hate us? Did you hear this? Well, let's go. Federal watchdog warned back in 2024. Afghan resettlement to the 2023. Afghan resettlement to the U.S. relies on Taliban cooperation. Well, wait a minute. That picture that President Trump put up of the C-17 interior packed with people, the only thing we didn't have were like goats from Afghanistan. Everybody else and his brother got in, right? Were these the people who were working with us? I don't think so. Just everybody kind of piled on as much as they could. Those who couldn't make it clung to the wings and fell to their deaths in a horror that I think left a lot of us speechless. So wait a minute. After they came here to America, we knew because of a federal watchdog that the Afghan resettlement to the United States relies on cooperation from the Taliban? I mean, is that why we're paying them $40 million a week? Because we are. We are demonstrably doing that. And there's a bunch of Republicans who will not bring it to a vote to stop it. What are you talking about? The federal government's special immigrant visa program for Afghan nationals relies on Taliban cooperation. The State Department Inspector General under Joe Biden warned back in 2023 after the Biden administration blew the doors open to mass migration from Afghanistan, right? And this is all coming out after last Wednesday's point blank shooting of the 2 National Guard members. So the guy who did that, allegedly, was resettled in the United States as part of former President Joe Biden's Operation Allies Welcome program, where tens of thousands of Afghan nationals were brought to American communities. It was 90,000, guys. 90,000 of these people. But in August that year, 2 years after Biden's mass Afghan resettlement began, the State Department's IG issued a report detailing alarming issues with the federal government's special immigrant visa program for Afghan nationals, which was routinely funded by Democrats and Republicans. Among the findings, the IG report revealed that the SIV, Special Immigrant Visa Program to bring Afghans to the U.S., relied on cooperation from the Taliban. First, the department relies on Taliban cooperation for special immigrant visa applicant relocation from the country because of a lack of embassy ground presence in Afghanistan. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think we're calling Phil Connor over at the Taliban? And we're calling, hi, Phil. Yeah, it's Sheila here at the State Department. We'd like to know do you have some really fine Afghan nationals that you can send our way? Yes. Well, he sounds fabulous. Let's make it happen. Okay. Night, night. No, that's not who they send. They send people who hate us, people who they don't want, but who they know want to kill us. Special immigrant visa, Operation Allies. Welcome home. It's so fuzzy. It's so warm. It's so kind. It's what America does. We're a giant melting pot, just a bubbling cauldron of culture. You don't want to prevent those people who are fleeing. They're fleeing for their lives. No, they're coming to America because they were invited by the Democrat Party and a bunch of loser Republicans who don't have spines because they're probably getting paid off too, to come here, rip us off, create a whole network of fraud, malfeasance, corruption, make money off of it, and then what? Send it back home. Oh, that's the American dream. Meanwhile, I have 5 Generation Z sons who credibly don't believe that they'll ever be able to buy a house because we have sold the American dream and we've imported new American terror. I agree with Christy Nolan. We don't want any one of them. Not one. You don't have the ability to vet these people. There aren't vetting procedures in third world countries, ladies and gentlemen. There is a one-way ticket to ride, all aboard, going to America. And then you bend over and you pay for it. Get out. I have a soundbite I want to play. I've gone long in this segment, but I want to play it for you on the flip side of this break as we close the show. Because a lot of these people with these special immigrant visas cashing in on all of the welfare programs that we were told, no, not one of them. What are you talking about? The Democrats said, which is why the White House needs its own fake news website. You catch my grift? Here we go. Steve Hilton and what he found in California. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Hi, Phil. Do you have a nice young man that you could send us? He could fit in well with the community, be a good father figure.
If your own country can't vet you, like if you have no paperwork, then why would we take you?
Yeah. Yeah. If you're, this is where John Kennedy would come in with, like, if your Powerball dreams are like 7 goats and a whatever, yeah, we don't want you. We don't want one last bit of you. No. And you can't, it's sort of like taking any kind of offer from the anti-gun crowd. Well, do you really need a magazine that can carry blah, 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 blah? Yes, I do. It's not a bill of needs. It's a bill of rights, and it's my right. See, if you bend even the slightest, open the floodgate, and then everything is over, right? You open one door. Oh, we got to let them in. No, we don't. Oh, Ellen.
Yeah. You sit there and you say, why are you leaving your country?
Yeah.
It's horrible. Why is it horrible?
Why do I want your country brought with you here?
Right? Like, you have to renounce your country right now. Yeah. The minute you don't, the amount of people that are getting deported for drunk driving is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with the boozing and the getting behind the wheel thing. I don't get it. How many of these issues are huge down in Texas with a lot of these people coming in from South America, right? Guatemala, Mexico, Honduras coming up. Okay. And then like, I'm like, first of all, how are you getting a car?
Listen, I would gladly import their work ethic.
Yeah.
But the rest of it?
It's well said.
I mean,
it's well said.
If you are willing to wave your homeland's flag and you left because of persecution, why would you ever want to associate yourself with that country again? Can you imagine going to another country, Iran, waving the American flag?
Baffling. A lot of baffling stuff going on out there. So we've known for years. Tim Walz has known for years. The vaccine, we've known for years.
The nice thing about Tim Walz is you're putting a face on corruption. And nobody would have known about, it would have been such a big deal if his name wasn't Tim Walz and he didn't run for, we would have never found out.
I had never really heard of him before. Like, who's this lesbian, short, white-haired lady who's the governor of
Washington?
Maybe. Is that who it is? What's her name? What? I just saw her. I'm like, who's that? Oh, that's the governor of
I think it's
Oregon.
It's one and the same.
Oregon governor.
Looks like a dude.
Oregon. Tina Kotek. Yeah. She looks like Anderson Cooper with Rachel Maddow's glasses. She's got more of a wave in the front. He's a little bit more high.
A dude.
He's a little more high and tight.
See, this is the thing. He's not a dude. Rachel Maddow's a dude. Yeah. So it's...
We're just morphing. It's like mollusks.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Rachel Maddow.
Do we get to 3.5? You guys are killing me. 90 people to keep it respectable. And I have a gelatinous eye blob. And that didn't get any kind of sympathy.
Oh, won't you take me?
And back through the woods to grandmother's house we go. That there is not a single immigrant in this country who's getting any kind of benefits that are due American citizens and not people who came into this country illegally. That's not what's going on. Well, Steve Hilton, who's running for governor in California, says, no, that's exactly what's going on. He said, business owners are getting in touch with me as I'm running as the Republican candidate to save this state that's fallen apart, thanks to Gavin Newsom, the dirtbag, who are telling me their immigrants want to be paid under the table. Why ever would that be? Let's listen.
A few weeks ago, a business owner here in California told me that one of his new employees asked to be paid in cash, not on payroll. Why? The business owner asked. Well, because the employee from Afghanistan was worried that he would lose his welfare payments. How much is that? $7,000 a month. That is $84,000 a year here in California. So when we look at this massive scandal in Minnesota, $1 billion from the social services system in fraud and corruption, you can be sure it is much, much worse right here in California. We already know that over $20 billion in the pandemic from the EDD scandal was sent in welfare payments to people in jail, on death row, people who are dead. We know that over $24 billion was completely lost on homelessness spending. All that money spent, and we still have situations like this all over California, everywhere you look. That's why today I am calling for a complete and total audit of every part of California's bloated welfare state, so we find the corruption and the fraud and the waste in Gavin Newsom's California and end it.
And end it. I love that he's obviously standing next to some kind of a metal dumpster and somebody's throwing stuff like rocks or bottles into the thing. I'm like, God bless you for being out there. So he's got Afghan nationals coming into California. We want to block these people from coming in. I think we should also block Ellen DeGeneres from coming back. Because apparently she doesn't like it over there anymore. The UK, it's a little cold this time of year. It's like Rosie O'Donnell when she's not talking to what's-his-face, Jim Acosta, who's like, I'll do a podcast and nobody will listen to, right? She's like, it's kind of cold here and our heaters aren't working and it's not really as fun as we thought. Well, so here's the story. Ellen DeGeneres to bravely move back to the U.S., despite fleeing after Trump's victory. Look, we had a go-away party for her. I don't know why she thinks it's time to come back. Ellen DeGeneres and her wife, Portia de Rossi, are reportedly considering a return to the United States after relocating to the UK in the aftermath of the 2024 presidential election. Right? They had to fall on the sword. Oh, no. I cannot believe it. We're out of here, honey. Pack your bags. Get your Louis Vuitton bags. We're out. Oh, yeah, except there aren't a whole lot of movie jobs going on right now. There are a lot of people, Muslims with knives in London. I hear it's a beautiful time of year there, right? They're like, we want to come back. No, you don't. President Trump's victory apparently was not enough to keep them away for long, even though the couple initially signaled that they wouldn't return under any circumstances. We needed to have a pool going. You know, who needs the baby birth pool when we could just... Let's all talk about when these people are going to come back. So they're currently in America for the holidays to escape the weather in the UK, but their visit is likely to become more permanent. The couple has discussed moving back to the US because, wait, what? They miss their friends? And so Portia can continue her acting career in Hollywood. Oh God, like anybody couldn't have predicted this, right? What are you gonna do over there? Drink Guinness and look at the clouds? I mean, I'm sure it's beautiful or what have you, but please. Ellen has repeatedly criticized President Trump, both as a sign of a scary political environment in the U.S., as well as a threat to LGBTQ plus rights, whatever that means. It's so stupid. Stop it. Stop your grandstanding. Stop going out there looking to get clicks, looking to be important, looking to make a show, pretending that if you honestly believe that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, then you clearly are. You are a moron and you don't deserve to come back. We should have at least some mental barometer, some level you have to meet. Your brain has to function at a certain frequency in order for you to come into this country. And if it doesn't, well, I'm sorry. But I hear Canada is lovely this time of year. Ellen was adamant that she and Portia were going to stay in the UK while Trump was in the White House, but she's changed her mind. She's been telling friends that they're coming home soon because they miss them and they can't take the winters over there, and Portia wants to act again. They'll be here for the holidays and longer by the sound of it. You know, I guarantee you, if Ellen and Portia decided to walk out of the confines of whatever gated home they would have, and they were carjacked, or they were beaten up, or God forbid worse, by some goon on a special immigrant visa, I don't know, maybe they would change their tune about what this president is doing. My point of view is England can have them. Go ahead, King Charles. They're yours. Thanks for being part of the show today. Love you. And we'll do it again tomorrow, 21 hours. Come on back, okay? Peace.